Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Afternoon Tune. I'm your host, Josh, and I got two special guest hosts with me today. I have Tim and Sage, both from Rated M for Immaturity. How's it going there, guys? They've been on the show plenty of times before, helping me review some things, and they're going to be helping me review and discuss some things today. That being Uzumaki, the new anime that just dropped on Adult Swim, much highly anticipated anime there. A lot of people are talking about, a lot of people are discussing that. So the way they're scheduling it is they're releasing it on Adult Swim, then they're doing it releasing it on HBO Max or Max, as it now there before they change it back to HBO Max there. So they're going to be releasing it on there as well the day after. It's only going to be 4 or 5 episodes.
Just 4 episodes.
Just 4 episodes of it. So that's it. That's all you get. Just 4 episodes. Looks gorgeous though. Gorgeous looking show. And Sage and Tim. Tim, you also saw it?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so they're going to be geeking out over that. And discuss the state of play. The state of play recent that came this past week there, all the big announcements there, all the big news that came out of that game. So we're looking forward to games that we're excited for, discussing that. Also, a little bit of movie stuff there. State of play. Besides that, we do have Nosferatu. So a little bit of that going on there. The new Robert Eggers movie there, perfect time for the holidays. Is a vampire come and kill a vampire, perfect time for the holidays. You know, all your relatives suck the life out of you during the holidays. Might well go see a vampire film. All right, so you do have that. Yes. So that's what's on the agenda today. And then, of course, as always, after this stream, we're going to rate somebody. A friend of Rated M for Maturity and a friend of the Afternoon Tune is on right now. Cal's playing a good old Minecraft there. I still have not seen that Minecraft trailer. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I've seen like GIFs and memes. I haven't seen the actual thing, the actual trailer though.
Let's give that a watch. Why don't we give that a watch? I have not seen the Minecraft trailer. Have you seen the Minecraft trailer, Tim?
I wish I hadn't, but either way, I'm about to now.
Okay, well, let's just watch the. I know it's old. I know that trailer's been released, but I've not yet to see the Minecraft trailer. I don't actually play Minecraft myself. Do you guys play Minecraft? Okay, not your thing to play Minecraft.
I did over in like the alpha and beta versions, but so I guess not in 10 years.
Okay, wow. Yeah, you're not really into the whole building, crafting type thing there when it comes to video games. You're not really into that.
Not really, not me at least.
Valheim was my exception, but nah.
Yeah. You didn't get into Little Big Planet? You didn't like making your own little game with Little Big Planet? Or...
I thought like Little Big Planet was fun, but I mostly just liked playing the levels that other people made. I don't know. Like the idea of a game with like custom tools to make your own stuff, I think is cool, but it's like it's almost like the choice paralysis thing where it's like I don't even know what I would want to do with it. I guess I don't know. I want people to make games for me. I don't want to make games for other people.
Yeah. Little Big Planet. They say, hey, here's a box of Legos. You kids go play. Go make your own video game there. Your own adventure. They were Little Big Planet, so you do have that. Yeah, I wonder. That was a long time ago. That game came out. Little Big Planet. I think that was what 2010.
Yeah. The Little Big Planet was mostly on that like PS3 generation. So 09 maybe.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, because I think it was that long ago.
They did 3 of them as well.
Yeah. So he did have that there. Right there. Very nice.
October 27th, 2008.
Okay. Yeah, that was a long time ago, that game. Yeah. Because I remember that was like the big game on the PlayStation 3, Little Big Planet. Yeah. I didn't buy it, but yeah, a lot of people, loved, crafting their own world and building their own game there. Yeah. And hey, that's going there. He says he's watching a Coca-Cola ad. What the fuck? Coca-Cola ain't paying me. What the fuck Coca-Cola doing on my stream? Yeah. I do prefer Coca-Cola over Pepsi. I'm more of a Coke guy than Pepsi.
Same.
Sage definitely could cosplay Alan Poe on Halloween. So that's another one to put on your back pocket there. Sage there, Edgar Allan Poe there. I also said Family Guy Jesus would be a good one to do that one there. And
Absolutely.
they are making a Passionate of the Christ too. They are doing that, so I don't know. Maybe you can go out there.
I hope it's an action movie.
Yeah, I do hope it's.
If I don't get a thriller version of the New Testament, I will riot.
He's gone. Where did he go?
I think that's pretty close. That's pretty matched up there, pretty well. And glasses too.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Man, you crazy, Jesus! You crazy!
That's what my ex-wife said.
So the son of God, you sure are a son of a...
Chris Tucker and Jim Caviezel. Is that it? The guy from the first one? Passion of the Christ 2. Crucify this.
You know how to use one of these?
You know how to use one of these?
This July, let he who is without sin kick the first ass.
There you go. Yeah.
One of those things I wish would really come to exist, like the Planet of the Apes musical in The Simpsons.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think anybody can go out there. I mean, Jesus is you know, no copyright on Jesus. Go out there and make a Jesus Passion of Christ 2 there.
Yeah, just rip off John Wick and put Jesus
Yeah.
in it instead.
Jesus is back for payback. He's going. He's back. Got tired of people messing with his name, man. He's back there. And then Ulysses says, "Oh, it's that King cosplay there." So it's that.
That's true. He's not wrong.
It's just like a cosplay as Apollo Creed, Apollo Creed's son. Apollo Creed there. Yeah. Jesus, no Jesus, as Echo says there. But I'm doing well, doing good tonight there. Speaking of Halloween, we do have a poll right now on social media, twitter.com there, just like in the afternoon tune. You'll be able to find us there. And we had a poll up for which horror movie we will be having our 20th anniversary review for there, retro review for that. So we have Saw 1, we have Shaun of the Dead, we have Dawn of the Dead, and then we have Van Helsing. So all of those are having its 20th year anniversary. Out of those, which one do you think is the most appealing?
I feel like I'm in the minority opinion on not liking that Dawn of the Dead movie, but I guess I feel like most people seem to like that one, so I guess I go with that.
Yeah, I know you hate Zack Snyder. Yeah, I think that's his
do.
best movie. I think Dawn of the Dead is his best movie. Coincidentally enough, it's written by James Gunn, who people pit against each other. James Gunn, Zack Snyder. There. What about you, Tim?
Van Helsing, I think I'm a little bit more excited for, just because I really loved the shit out of that movie when I was younger. So I'm excited that it's getting any attention at all.
Yeah. So out of those four, which one do you think is winning? Out of Shaun of the Dead, Van Helsing, Saw 1, Dawn of the Dead. You have to take a guess.
I'm gonna guess Shaun of the Dead.
I'm gonna say Dawn of the Dead.
And you guys would be wrong. It is you said Dawn of the Dead. Both you said Shaun of the Dead, or you said
I said Dawn of the Dead.
Okay, so Tim is right.
Okay.
So yeah, Tim is right there. So Dawn of the Dead is winning, and then Van Helsing behind it, and then Shaun of the Dead is behind that, and then dead last. Nobody voted for Saw 1. Nobody gives a fuck about Saw 1.
People have had too much of it.
Yeah. There's been some. I like the last. Did you see the last Saw movie? I kind of like the last Saw.
I think I've maybe watched the first 3. I've never really gone back to the franchise.
Once I saw 4, that was my stepping out moment for the franchise.
What happened in 4? I don't think
4. That was
was that the one where he was fighting people like in the medical industry at all? Like he
So 3 was where we got like the main guys, and it's then just the whole thing just kind of goes off the rails, in that it's like no longer just about like that dude's his actual drive like made some sort of sense, like force people into these life or death situations so that they experience the same like life that he did. But it just kind of becomes there's not really any message there.
Is four the copycat? Is that the first time they do like
Yeah,
a copycat thing?
like the
Okay.
the opening sequence is like them doing an autopsy of the original Jigsaw, and there's a cassette tape like in his stomach or whatever,
Mm.
and then it all goes from there. Saw one, I will say I did think that one was an actually good movie. It's just that there's been so much after it that it lost its vision and became more of a kind of like a gore fest rather than like a gory horror movie with something to say.
Mm.
Even of the three I saw, I really did only like the first one.
Okay. I mean, that movie was big. It was hugely pivotal. I mean, it did launch the career of James Wan. He went on to do many
Yeah.
things like The Conjuring, and he did Aquaman. Also, Lee Whannell, who launched the career. He wrote that movie, launched his career there as well from that. He went on to do a movie I really love, Upgrade. He did that movie, which was really
Oh yeah, yeah. Huge fan of
man,
that.
that movie was 2018. He did, and he did also. Do you like his Invisible Man movie? I quite like.
I liked it. I didn't like it was like a solid like 8 out of 10 for me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, He says Saw 1 and 2 as well as 3 were, he said it's pretty good there. Ulysses said they should do a Saw movie where Jigsaw captures other horror movie characters, Freddy, Jason, Pittman. The Saw crossover there, you should do that.
I'd watch that.
Uh, but he's saying like it was kind of but they just didn't want any like slasher killer out there, someone with a motive. So that was kind of one of the positive things about the Jigsaw killer. Like he kind of had a theme, a reason for doing it. It's I don't know, kind of confusing, I guess. It's like, oh no, you didn't put the shopping cart back at the grocery store. You know what I mean? This is why you're in here. Shit like this. Like, okay, dude.
Yeah, they had to stretch that once they
Yeah,
got
it wasn't
past
like the
the
first
movies.
one like all the people were like complicit in somebody like dying and nobody like stepped forward and said anything or stepped forward to help the person, and they had
Yeah.
all done their part and kind of like covering up their involvement in it. And that was actually, I think, one of the like more better motives for kind of like one of these seemingly random kind of it's a good kind of revelation.
Mm,
But
yeah.
then you get like Saw 3, which is Sawman's dying. We have to save Sawman. I'll saw you all if you don't save Sawman.
Because what was that the one he brought the doctor in, and then like she
Yeah, she
trapped
has
the.
to like perform open brain surgery and they all have the shotgun necklaces on.
Yeah. So, but the latest one that came out, I think last year or the year before. So I forgot the name of that song. That was I actually kind of liked it. That was kind of decent. I thought,
I've
yeah,
heard one other person say good things about that movie.
yeah. That's where he gets tricked. He thinks he's getting his cure for cancer, and then somebody tricks his ass. And then he goes on revenge to get him back.
Is
Uh,
it the one where they try and make him look young by putting like a back root, like a baseball cap and a hoodie on him?
yeah, because like I don't know the timeline because he dies in what 2 or 3, right? He dies, and so
Yeah, he
every other
dies in
movie,
3, so it's set between
Yeah.
like 1 and 2, I think.
yeah. So that all these have to be prequels because he died at the end of
Yeah, so this is like Saw 1.5.
it.
But the
uh,
making of why he does Saw 2 but not Saw 1, we're not supposed to saw that.
yeah. And then the last one was Saw 10. So he done. So that was the last one. That was in 2013. He did that one. So
That's a
yeah.
lot of stop movies.
A lot of sawing going on there. A lot of people in traps there. So that's what we got there. Plan for that. People can vote on that poll there, which horror movie they want us to review there. Batman wise, we put up a poll for that. Batman Mask of the Phantasm one. So I plan on doing a review of that pretty soon. This upcoming Friday, I got Chris from the Black Stoves podcast is going to be joining me. We're going to be reviewing Megalopolis. We're going to be reviewing Joker 2. Joker 2 is coming out this week. And we're going to be reviewing The Wild Robot. They're going to be reviewing that. So that's what we got there. So let everybody know about yourself, guys. Tim, Sage, Radio Maturity. What you got going on?
Yeah, you can find us over at Rated M for Immaturity, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all under the same name. Just a whole bunch of streams, a bunch of dumb guys making dumb jokes. It's pretty much our whole thing.
And this is you guys playing Wukong Fallen Dynasty there on your Twitch, rated M for maturity right there. Also on YouTube, same name there, rated M for maturity. And Ulysses, who's in the chat right now, he's also a part of that good crew of guys. What are your streaming days?
So we got Tuesday afternoons, late Saturday nights, and then every other Friday, roughly. Usually around 7:30, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. And you guys got a stream coming up tomorrow there.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can make it there. Get out tomorrow. What are you guys playing tomorrow? Is it gonna be?
We're playing the new Mortal Kombat Chaos Reigns story expansion.
Okay. Did you also want to do a review of that tonight? Chaos Reigns.
We could. We definitely could.
Awesome. That'd be good to review there. Mortal Kombat Chaos Reigns there. All right. So yeah, follow these guys. Great streamers there. Very good videos. Very good stream. Very good video games that they play. Very good times there. And Tim, last time he joined us, he discussed that Elden Ring DLC. Gave a great review of that. There, I believe that's going to be coming on the channel. If not, I believe it is it up there already. They got a lot of stuff lined up there for the channel. But yeah, I think it's already up there. So if you want to check it out on YouTube, youtube.com, the afternoon, where we post a lot of the reviews, discussions, everything like that. You can see Tim's review of Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree there. And that'll be up pretty soon. All right. It says would be great seeing Tim Sage and Just play Boulder Gate together.
Over on Rated M for Immaturity, we actually, on our co-host takeover, the Friday show, we've been plugging away slowly with Baldur's Gate 3, and that's me, one of the co-hosts, No Name, and Sage gets in the voice chat to really speak his piece about the bear shenanigans in Baldur's Gate. And we also get Ulysses over there too, so it's a nice old time plugging away at it. One of my favorite games, but also one of the just enormous games out there. We're gonna be playing this into next year at this rate.
Yeah, huge game and great game there. Both Baldur's Gate and Elden Ring, massive type games. And these guys do a great job at tackling those massive games. Their channels.
50 episodes to do Elden Ring.
Let's see. It said Baldur's Gate, prepare lips, bear fucker. Yes, right there.
They actually have coined the phrase Sage and Ulysses Bear Fuckers 3, and they have an emote. Yeah, we got that in the chat there.
Very cute emote there. Who did the emotes there?
That was Cow4, actually.
Oh, okay, very good. Yeah, made a cute little bear there, and the bear's even wearing some little pants. I think. There. At least I hope those.
That's a sensor bar.
Oh, it's a sensor bar. Oh, okay.
Sensor bar on there.
Very, very cute there. All right.
Yeah, Bear awesome. Gonorrhea 3 there. Sorry, I don't want to get the name wrong there.
All right. I'll let you guys go ahead and discuss Uzumaki there. Getting that before we discuss the state of play stuff and then Mortal Kombat and all that. So let me queue up these trailers here for Uzumaki. Go ahead and get started on that. Probably won't be good. So this is just an initial first impressions here for it. All right, so there is a new anime right now that is on Adult Swim, Uzumaki: Spiral into Horror is the full title of this here. A lot of word about this anime out right now. I would say it's, I guess, highly anticipated. A lot of people looking forward to this. The work on this anime has been over 5 years. They've been working on this.
Yeah. I remember seeing the announcement back in 2019, and then I actually was just reading yesterday that the COVID pandemic and all that it almost stopped production completely for the series. They had to kind of fight to really kind of restart it. think they said there was like a whole year there where it wasn't touched, no work was being done. So, and we're kind of lucky to be getting this at all, that the people were so passionate to kind of push through that and restart the project.
And this is based on the work of Juji Ito. There's based
It's
on,
Junji Ito. I got the hardcover copy of the full book right here.
and this is the man right here. It's you see, yeah, just this is guy. It's like, oh man, I love freaking people the fuck out. Look at that smile. There he goes.
The joke
Um,
is always that the art and the artist are opposite. So you'll see memes of Hayao Miyazaki looking depressed with some really pretty, uplifting art, and then you'll see Junji Ito looking as happy as can be with just the most messed up like body horror.
One of my favorite things is seeing him in the Barbie boxes that were at theaters a while ago for the Barbie release.
let me see if I can find
Happy as a clam.
Okay, he's a super.
There you go.
it. Having a good old
He
time.
just recently drew like a big collaboration advertisement for like it was like a Junji Ito Hello Kitty marketing crossover.
Oh, this is pretty terrible. Somebody put him in the actual Barbie outfit there. I don't know. And you said somebody did what? What was the Hello Kitty?
Yeah, Junji Ito like did artwork for like a Hello Kitty marketing campaign. Yeah, that's it right there. So it's like it's in his style and everything.
Is he a cat guy? Cat.
I guess I don't know. I don't know that specifically, but he seems just super. He just seems like such a happy, kind of carefree dude. So he seems like an animal lover, I guess, just
Yeah.
based on that.
He's got Hitler in cat form right here. Yeah. So take it away, guys. What do you got to say about Uzumaki Spiral into Horror?
Oh man, well, I've been looking forward to this since they first announced it. I'm a huge fan of the book, huge fan of Junji Ito's works in general. There's been two major adaptations that I can recall in the past that they're like anthologies because he does a lot of short stories too. Uzumaki is actually one of the longer things that he's done, which even still, that's still the whole thing right there. But those other kind of anthology series that they did were they really just lacked a certain tone and vibe from his book. I don't know. It was one of those things where watching them, I couldn't quite put my finger on what about it was wrong or what wasn't working. But now it's actually pretty easy. Adding color made those different series not work super well, and just a more vague kind of general art style. Not as much of a hyper specific feel. I think that's what did it because this is maybe the closest replication of any art style in like a comic I've seen where they just translated it exactly as it is on the page. I mean, it is not even a little bit off. And so not only do you get that feel, but you also have the black and white stylistic choice here, which I think for whatever reason, Junji Ito's style just doesn't translate to color very well. And so keeping it black and white is also like one of the best choices to just kind of ensure that tone kind of comes across and maintains. And just to show you an image from the manga here, because it was in the trailer just there, but that was shown right in the trailer there, and it's like exactly like even the tiniest little shading details and shadows they've got in the image. It's really really impressive. I'm super super happy with this so far.
What about you, Tim?
Yeah, I'm just gonna build off of what Sage said there, in that this is actually the only time that I've really seen the art style for a black and white manga get translated like 1-to-1 in terms of like the line art, the just the pacing, like like the amount that they do to fill in the area between frames of the page doesn't really feel like filler. It just feels like somehow they're just putting in the frames that they didn't put in the page. Uh, it's kind of hard to it's
If I could try, I think I could describe what you're saying. It's
yeah,
like it's like what your imagination is filling in. It's like they managed to kind of animate that bit of your imagination that your mind is filling in as you're reading.
100%. It's like you're seeing the frames in between frames in like a movie that's gone from 24 to 60 hertz. Or it's exactly what I had really hoped for. Uh and I had never read the manga, but seeing the first episode launch and then seeing all the side by side comparisons of it people were starting to make, it really is impressive. And my wife, who's watched it, was just going like, how are they doing that with just but you pause it, any given frame looks like it could be ripped out of the manga, like even that right there, it it's excellent. uh and I don't think that the story is really hindered at all by the expanded format of getting 23-minute episodes, because they're only doing 4 of them. They didn't feel like they needed to add anything more. Yeah, see, exactly. That's
That panel right
perfect.
there.
If anything,
Exactly
they're adding a
pinpoint.
little bit more detail to the line art in this version, but I think that it works really well. I'm glad that they chose to stay this loyal to his art style, because I think his art style is a really big piece of his horror. The way that he sketches things is a viscerally uncomfortable feeling just looking at it. And it inspires this kind of true horror at the fucked up body that you're seeing. It's emblematic of body horror, but with just simple line art.
Yeah.
So I think I was really excited for what I saw. I'm excited that this is coming out for October because it's perfect spooky season shit.
Good way to
Especially with
start
that
it off.
ending of the first episode that I won't spoil since it came out like 2 days ago, or yesterday. But it's exceptional. I haven't been that sucked into a property based off the first episode since like Invincible, which I think had an equally brutal but in a different way kind of ending.
Mm.
So I'm really excited to see where it goes, especially if they're going to be nailing it this accurately.
Uh, yeah. And did you guys watch it the subbed or the dubbed version?
So I don't think the dubbed version is out yet. I want to say the dubbed episodes will be premiering each Thursday after.
Okay.
So if it comes out Sunday or like midnight on Saturday, and then the following Thursday, I think that. So I guess we both watched the sub release then.
Okay. And I don't know if I missed it. Did you guys talk about the premise at all? Premise.
So it's interesting. It is kind of it's one of those eldritch sort of haunting type stories. A lot of Japanese horror will do, where it's kind of like this town's being haunted by a concept. It's like the concept of a spiral. Um, and I mean, I'll tell you now, there's never going to be any like super clear cut explanation, right? It's going to be that kind of horror where not understanding it is very much going to be part of the point of it. But as far as like the kind of basic setup, you have Kiri here. She starts off just kind of giving you like a rough idea of, hey, I'm just gonna tell everything you're gonna see here. It's just a bunch of stories about the weird stuff going on in this town. And the only other character that I'd say, get to know well, at least with the first episode, is Shuichi, who it's his father seems to be kind of the first person really targeted by this haunting. He's the one you see all coiled up in the trailer, spinning his eyes around, and you just slowly start to see people become either obsessive behaviors of either obsessive over a spiral or obsessive about something else, well, a spiral kind of manifests either on their person or somehow in their life. And it's interesting because like I think when you describe it just on that basic level, like she's like they're getting haunted by like the shape of a spiral or the concept of a spiral. It sounds kind of funny, right? Like it doesn't sound scary necessarily on its surface. The characters even say that in the episode too. At one point, like he's talking to Kiri about his father and about what's going on, and she laughs even. He's like, I don't blame you for laughing, and until you see it, it's like it doesn't sound silly. And I think that's another element of Junji Ito in general is a lot of his horror is kind of funny. Like there's another one of his short stories where this it's like everybody is like locked in their houses or at least trapped in their houses in this neighborhood because there's balloons floating around outside and they all have nooses. And every balloon has like a person's face that lives in the neighborhood. And the second anybody goes outside, it just grabs them, hangs them, flies away. But like the way the characters reacts to it, especially is like the dad of this family is like, well, you know what, I got to go to work. All right, so if this is what's going to happen, I guess it's what's going to happen. He just walks right outside, fully understanding what's going to happen to him. So that there's kind of like I don't know, there's like just a little bit of a silliness that's present as well. That I don't know, it's an interesting tone that it's can be hard to describe because it's so uniquely Junji Ito. Um, but it's
Is it
maybe
like a black comedy at points there, dark humor
there's
there?
moments, yeah, there's moments that it's almost maybe a little reminiscent of. Yeah, I mean, Evil Dead is maybe a bit extreme of an example of how goofy, you can get with it, but like maybe like some of the funny moments in like the very first Evil Dead movie when it's mostly pretty serious, but occasionally something might make you laugh. I'd say that's maybe a good comparison. And then there's two other things I want to mention too. So there is just a little bit of change going into the adaptation from the book, and it's not that they're necessarily changing anything that's happening, but it is with the pacing of the story. So you get kind of in the book, you kind of have like here's the introduction, here's this character talking about his dad, here's the whole haunting with his dad. That's a chapter, and then you see that girl in the trailer with the spiral on her forehead. You kind of she gets introduced in like the next chapter, and then they kind of tell that whole story about the chapter. And then you even get a scene in the show of there's a boy who comes into school, he's being bullied, and I won't say exactly how Spiral manifests in that situation, but that's like chapter 8, I want to say, of the book. So they are kind of reordering what happens. So you're kind of bouncing back and forth between these things instead of just one thing on to the next short story. Which I think for the show makes a lot of sense. It's actually, I think, good for the pacing. It's working pretty well so far, at least.
How much involvement does Juji Ito have in the show? How much involvement?
That I'm not sure. I remember hearing he was really involved back when they first announced it, but that was also kind of, that was before the pandemic. That, like I said, they kind of had to restart development on it because there was such a big break where nothing was being done. So I don't know if he still continued to be so involved, or I think I do believe I remember reading that he recorded voice lines to be a cameo as like a small side character at one point in the series. I don't know if that's in the first episode or not. I didn't necessarily recognize the voices themselves, but
Oh, maybe he'll show up like Bruce Campbell and Doctor Strange too. Maybe he'll be selling pizza balls. Maybe there. That'll be cool.
maybe he'll be selling pizza balls. And then the one other big thing I want to make sure I mention too, because I think this is a huge part of what's making the show tonally come across super well, is the music. The music is extremely well composed. It feels like a spiral rolling around in your ear while you listen to it. It creates this really kind of great unsettling effect with the whole rest of the show because it mimics the shape almost. And it's Colin Stetson who composed the music for the show. Who people might recognize the name. He did the music for both Hereditary and Midsummer.
Mm, Very nice. Tim, for you with the show here, this is there's only one episode here. I know it's kind of it's giving kind of initial impressions of this. Do you kind of? I know you say you didn't read the manga there. Do you feel kind of anything that like it's trying to reference more of the manga there, or it's like referencing something maybe you don't get, or do you feel like even if you hadn't read the manga, you get into this pretty well there?
I think that just not having read the manga beforehand and only ever really seeing pictures of it, or like out of context frames, I think it does a really good job of not really giving you any information that you wouldn't need to know. Like I'm like yeah, I'm left really on the edge of my seat about this mystery, but at the same time, I I think it does a really good job of hooking people, of kind of playing it really coy initially, and kind of making you wonder, like, all right, this is supposed to be horror, and then it starts to slowly and gradually build upon itself until the episode seemingly ends on that like crescendo, and you're like, when is the next one coming? And it's a really nice feeling.
Yeah, based on the stuff you've seen in your life, what would you? Is there anything you could kind of compare this to give people a general sense? People who haven't read the manga.
I would say this it kind of, at least in terms of like the format, like Scavenger's Reign is something I can compare it to a little bit in the gradual buildup of whatever mystery is kind of the underlying driving force of the narrative, uh, and in the way that it has a story to tell. And there is a lot of people that say it could Scavenger's Reign needs a season 2. I think it is fine ending where it did, but I can also see where people would want more of a good thing, and I'm all behind that. But it's succinct in that I know it's going to be short, and it has a story in mind to tell, and it's not going to take its time telling it. I'm not going to be watching 8 hours of television by saying I'm going to watch Uzumaki. It's going to be like 90 minutes total, so I would definitely recommend it to whoever is interested in some quality animation, some quality horror, and some well-written intrigue.
And each episode is about 30 minutes.
Just
Yeah.
20, I think.
Like
Just 20?
23 or something, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right. And I know, so there was a film adaptation of Uzumaki. There's that. I don't know how does, have you seen this? How does this compare to?
I have watched this actually. It's not very good.
Okay.
It's low budget, which not inherently a bad thing. Um, but like I talked about before, how there's like an air of goofiness at times where it can Junji Ito's work can be kind of silly just a little bit, and I think it's on purpose trying to make you laugh just some of the time. And the like I mentioned, they've done a couple other adaptations that have not worked very well just in animated form, and that is even more of a wall than a live action adaptation. It just did not get past. I don't know if there's a way to do that in live action that would work, but yeah, that movie definitely wasn't it.
I feel like a lot of Junji Ito's work tends to have that inherent whimsy about him that he carries with him in his day to day, kind of portrayed over the kind of grim reality that he recognizes and accentuates into the horror that he does. But like that whimsy is kind of what makes reading it so interesting, because you have this visually disconcerting imagery combined with like, oh yeah, that's just my spiral dad. And there is a level of humor to it that I think really kind of balances the fear and levity. And just to touch on what Akatazu said earlier, 1408 is definitely one of my favorite horror movies. Has been for ages.
Mm.
I think John Cusack did some of his best work in that one.
Mm. So I guess you guys could give a maybe if you wanted to. Do you want to give a rating for this first episode?
Oh, sure. I'd give it a total peak. I mean, I think it's a really, really great adaptation. It feels like you're looking at the same images as the book. They're just moving. It captures the art style. It captures the feeling of what it's like to read that book so well. Uh, I didn't really have any complaints at all. There's nothing I can point to as a negative. I guess only wouldn't go that one rating higher just because there's still three I haven't seen, and I don't want to totally get ahead of myself. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's a peak adaptation at the moment.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you. So this being so closely like the manga, could it be a thing of what's the point of watching the anime if you could just read the manga since it's such a very, very close adaptation? Or do you think you have to wait till you
Oh,
finish it to see where they go with the story to see how much they change it up?
yeah, I think it will have to wait to see how they handle the rest of it. If there's any other, because like I said, they're kind of changing the order of how things happen just a little bit for pacing's sake, which I do think is working really well. Um, but I also think the between the voice acting and but number one, I think it's the music. I think the music is what makes this maybe more than anything
Damn.
such a worthwhile experience. And
Yeah.
I mean, also seeing it in motion, seeing an art style this detailed, this fleshed out, and something that is so uh, most animation is like you get some great detailed animation out there, but I don't know if I've ever seen anything that has like every little dot of shading like that. To see that moving is kind of an achievement, I think, for the whole medium.
Mm. Yeah. Would you say with this, I mean, what it does as far as adapting the manga, you say, I mean, advancing animation in terms of something like Spider Verse or something like that? You think?
I think when it's all said and done, I think it could stand on that level. Well, I think we'll see. I'll wait to see until it's over before I totally say that. But I think it's at least got the potential to.
So, yeah. What about you, Tim? What do you think?
Well, I'm gonna agree that it's absolute peak, and I do say that because based off of this, if the level of quality is continued out, and if the fidelity to the original story is kind of maintained, even if it's just kind of restructuring for pacing purposes, uh, I think it's kind of an example of what animation can be and what adaptations can be and what audiences really are okay with kind of like going out on a limb to try. And I think this has the potential to kind of show to a lot of animators uh, or a lot of people looking at adapting some of the more unique art styles that, yeah, you can go with animation that has this more unique art style. And even if it takes a while to do, it's going to be really well received. And so
Mm.
I think is that and the music alongside it. I will say like a webtoons has kind of a feature where like as you're reading a comic, you can the artist can upload music alongside a chapter that plays, and certain points of the chapter will trigger certain changes in the music. So that kind of idea I think really is translating, or rather, is like the bridge between the silent manga reading alone in a library and watching something animated with a full score alongside it. And the music is creepy as fuck. It sets the hair on the back of your neck on end. So
Is this a good track to play?
kudos.
This one right
I
here?
think
Uh, I think that's the main theme. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I'll play a little bit of this. I know YouTube. I'm gonna play about 20 seconds. Let's see. Let's get into it. Sage is bobbing his head to it. So when he goes to sleep at night, nice and rainy.
You know it.
Okay, so kind of like a little bit like jazz, a little bit, kind of.
It's like jazz you'd hear in like a inverted nightmare dimension. Like it has that like the Black Lodge in Twin Peaks where everything is backwards, right? Where it's this and it creates this like it sounds like a circle. Like it literally it sounds like a spiral the way it's like moving in and out and kind of the sound is undulating. I don't know. I don't know how I mean that guy's a uh, musical genius to compose it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of very interesting the way kind of like I said, it's kind of like reverse, like somebody played the track kind of in reverse there, which was really cool there. I was kind of wondering, is this movie at all connected to the Uzumaki Spiral universe at all? This at all right here? This is
Oh,
in Spiral Saucer. This is connected at all? They kind of
I don't
tie
think
that
so.
in. Oh man.
I'm sorry, was that just Chris Tucker I saw?
Yeah, Chris Rock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Or
he was.
Chris Rock?
Yeah, I make that mistake. Yeah, I try to think sometimes like Chris Rock, Chris Tucker. Yeah,
you
yeah,
should
good
get
old
both
Spy.
of them in that movie with Jesus.
Oh yeah.
But man, that'd be funny. Chris Rock showed up. He's like, "Let me tell you about the spiral. Let me tell you what it what it all means." There, he shows up. Sage and Tim, thank you for that review. 2 peaks for Uzumaki there. Only 4 episodes. Have you heard other reviews? Other people talking about the manga? Other people talking about the show as well?
I
You've read the
haven't
manga?
I haven't really listened to anybody else talk about it yet. But I have seen like numbers that have been like I have like 8.5, 9 out of 10 generally. I've really only looked at the scores though.
Yeah. So, yeah, very, very freaky series. I'll be checking it out myself. The animation is gorgeous. It's stunning animation, and how they were able to adapt it. I mean, look at, you know,
I was reading that they fully animated it completely in 3D, and then they fully animated it completely in 2D, and then overlaid the two on top of each other and like lined the two sets of animation up to get it to look like this.
yeah. I'd love to interview the animator of this. I gotta get in touch with him because this would be amazing there.
Awesome.
To talk about this, just the way they do it. Yeah. Could you imagine this at all in color? I couldn't. It's just the way it is.
No,
Yeah.
no, and I mean, like I said, there's those two other anthologies that kind of that tried to adapt some of Junji Ito's other works, short stories and stuff. And those, like you go watch those, they fall kind of flat. Like maybe there's moments in them that are all right, but I think they adding color to it does take away from the tone and the feel of the story. So, I mean, it was whoever had the idea to just keep it in black and white was a genius. They that person should be getting a raise.
Yeah. Any other manga you want to see kept in black and white at all? Vagabond, if they make that, do you want to see that kept in black and white?
Ooh, that could be interesting. Possibly that one I think would work translated into color okay still. Like Berserk works translated into color. Vinland Saga works translated into color. Um, but seeing it black and white and seeing that stylistic choice would be really cool. I mean, I would say that I just hope that they decide to adapt more of Junji Ito's other stories, and all of those should stay in black and white. I mean, there's books like Ramina, Censor. Um, he's got a ton of short stories. You could easily do an anthology, but apply an art style closer to this, and you might have some success there.
Yeah. Would you like Hunter x Hunter better if it was in black and white?
I don't think there's a way to get me to like that better.
uh, I don't know. Well, maybe give it a try. Maybe they'll animate. They'll release another version of Hunter x Hunter, and they'll do it in black and white.
There does not need to be 3 entire Hunter animes in the world. I'm sorry.
No, they need to start over all the way on just have him do that hunter training arc.
Go all the way
It's
back.
3 times as long.
Gotta get every detail.
Hisoka needs more screen time.
I agree with that. He does. Yeah. Pedo clown there. Everybody's favorite pedo clown. All right. Uzumaki, everybody. Yeah. So thank you for reminding me about this. Let's talking about the Japanese series. Are you three watching the TV series there? Yakuza TV series. I know they released a trailer for it, Like a Dragon. They released a trailer for that. Thank you for reminding me of that. I'll go and watch that. That'd also be something to add there with it as well. Like I said RoboCop there, story wise, direction wise, and music wise is amazing. RoboCop one. They're making a TV show out of RoboCop as well. It's coming on
Say,
Amazon Prime. They're doing RoboCop.
I mean, that game that came out last year was really, really good. And that was like the first really good RoboCop thing since the first movie. So I guess the game proved it's not impossible to do good RoboCop stuff still, but ooh, I'm skeptical about that. And also for myself, I have not seen Yakuza. I don't. I guess I don't know if it's out yet, but I haven't watched the Yakuza at all. I have not played those games really. Like I played some of the Judgment spinoff, but I never finished it. And yeah, it's a franchise I don't have a lot of familiarity with it. So uh,
Yeah, he said, Ulysses
heresy
said
about Rings of Power.
Amazon
Heresy.
Prime will be good as Rings of Power. There, Amazon Prime 8, man. Well, they still got Invincible, The Boys. Those are really good
It's true.
shows
I
there
like both
over
of
there.
those.
Yeah.
Habaneri even had its moments there, the Iron Fortress.
Iron
So
Fortress.
Amazon can do stuff.
I can do stuff there. Yeah,
They did do
1408.
Rings of Power.
1408. So yeah, this is the article right here. Says that yeah, RoboCop TV series Amazon sets Peter Oko as showrunner and James. Oh, speaking about James Wan, we're talking about this James Wan there. Talking about him from yeah Saw there. So he's also Peter Oko. I don't think I've heard that name before. Um,
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell.
it says he's let's see, he's written and produced a number of popular television shows around the 1990s and 2000s through to today, including Pushing Daisies, The Office, Leftovers, Elementary, and Black Sails, and most recently Lodge 49.
Oh.
So he's got
I
that.
really liked Black Sails out of all of those. That's kind of
Pushing
the only
Daisies,
one
I
I
liked. I like Pushing Daisies. It's pretty good.
I remember watching it, but I don't remember it very well. I
Mm,
remember enjoying it, but it has been so long that my memory of it is just so vague.
yeah. Um, Ulysses also just remember Chris Tucker hasn't been slapped by Will Smith yet. Just that there. Yeah. So it says the official log line for the series states a giant tech conglomerate collaborates with the local police department to introduce a technologically advanced enforcer to combat rising crime. A police officer who's part man and part machine. So I guess it's going to be an origin of also RoboCop as well in the show.
Oh, so total reboot. I mean, I guess
Yes.
Peter Weller's probably too old to do it, so that makes some sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess he's too old to do it now. Yeah. Well, we've already had
The
a
voice in the game?
Yeah, he's the voice of the game, and we had him replace his RoboCop. We had dude from Suicide Squad, Joe Kinnaman was uh,
Oh God, yeah, that movie.
RoboCop. Yeah. So there you go. All right, guys, get into this state of play news. React to some of these biggest announcements here from State of Play. There, you guys watched it. You guys checked it out there.
Did.
Very nice.
Did indeed.
And also you told me about the Tokyo Game Show as well.
Yeah, Tokyo Game Show went from I believe it started Wednesday, went until yesterday. There was a few things there, but it wasn't like a ton of stuff. Dropped a really good Metal Gear remake trailer. And there was a big kind of stage show for Death Stranding 2. But the actual footage they showed for Death Stranding 2 was probably only like 8 minutes or so. So it wasn't a lot. Outside of that, there wasn't a ton for me personally that I was like super excited about from the event. But
Okay.
Metal Gear and Death Stranding, I guess two Kojima things. So
Okay. Let's discuss that then. Let's go into that. I'll play the Metal Gear Solid trailer right here.
To me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be.
That voice sounds very, very familiar. That voice.
well, they've used all of the original recordings from the original game. So even though it's a remake, this is still the same actors, the same voice recordings.
Okay.
It's it's prettied up, and it's like visually, it looks so much better, and then the controls of the gameplay are going to be very updated and different. But in terms of like the staging of the way the scenes move and the voice acting and stuff, that's actually like exactly the same as the original still.
Okay.
Politics determine who you face on the battlefield.
Is that why you abandoned me?
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission.
Remember, Metal Gear's
Your
not
mission is to retrieve Dr.
What you
Sokolov.
said?
but don't forget, Metal Gear isn't political.
Yeah, of course. Obviously not.
You mean the Soviets
You
pulled
play
out
as a guy. How could it be political? Come on.
Right, exactly.
Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
Are you one of Vulcan's men?
No. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
Seemed like the lips were kind of off there a little bit.
Is it? I guess I didn't really.
Well,
It
take a look.
seemed on to me, but
I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
See.
That's what they were making you
I don't
build.
know. Maybe it's just maybe I'm
Yes, the Shagohog.
maybe I'm looking too hard. Maybe.
A nuclear-equipped tank capable
sometimes
of
I
operating
like in
solo.
my hyper focus, I notice that in like anything, no matter what it is. So I don't know.
If it is completed and the Colonel gets his hands on it, it will mean the end of the Cold War. And then the Age of Fear will truly begin.
A world war.
An ocelot never lets his prey escape.
And people really love the design of Ocelot. People really like that design a lot. They said,
Yeah,
it does-
they updated it and it looks great.
Ocelot never lets his prey escape.
Sokolov
Name
is
will
being
never-
guarded by the KGB and hunted by Gru. Snake, it sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
I'm defecting to the Soviet Union. Sokolov is a little gift from my new hosts.
Are we taking him with us?
No, this one is still just a child. He has not yet found an emotion to carry into battle.
Even if they are our enemies, they're still our countrymen.
But it won't be me that pulled the trigger.
Colonel!
It'll be our friend, the American
and people really like this shot here.
That looks
Uh,
great. The lighting is excellent right there.
Really, really good there. Great hair and everything. Not as good as Tim's, but still great hair. Right there on the character.
defector.
Yeah. So this is mostly a story trailer, really introducing you to the story
People
of
aren't the ones who
what's kinda
dictate
going
the
on
missions.
Then who does?
The times.
Sorry I'm late.
People also liked her design there. Much improved design of her character as well. Still very sexy, very attractive there. She's supposed to be the femme fatale of the game.
Oh yeah,
So
oh yeah, very much your kind of honeypot spy type character.
yeah. So pretty much the same feelings as the last trailer that you had for Metal Gear. Pretty excited for it.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I think this looks great. I don't really have any complaints so far. I mean, if something comes up that I don't like the look of, I mean, I'll definitely be the first to voice my opinion on that. But yeah, I think they're doing a great job. Since Hideo Kojima, had that big falling out with Konami, going back like a decade now, and he's not, himself directly involved with this as a remake. I think keeping it so close to the original is the smart play. This company pissed off the whole Metal Gear fan base, right? Back 10 years ago now. And so I think, some people have said, oh, I wish they were updating it more, or maybe, because like so many other remakes, like the Resident Evil ones, they kind of change things around a bit more. They really, it's all new voice actors. They really remake the whole thing. But because there is kind of Konami has to earn goodwill back from players, sticking so close and just making it look and play better I think that is the smart choice here. They've got to prove they can do that before they can even do the risk of trying to mess around with the way any of these games are.
Are you a Metal Gear guy at all, Tim?
I played I think it was the second one, like 14 years ago.
Wow.
So I'm not super big on Metal Gear, or rather, I just haven't really gotten to playing them, which I really should, because there's no good reason not to play a Metal Gear game.
Yeah. Uh,
Check. Start with this one. It's my favorite.
no solid release date as of yet for the game.
Yeah, I saw in an interview too. They were like, "Hey, be patient. We want to make sure this is done when it comes out. We don't want to make promises we can't keep." So I bet it'll be. If I was to guess, I would say like tail end of next year.
Okay. Um, yeah, and with this game, this being another remake, Silent Hill 2 is another remake. Do you all think it's too many remakes? Is that a problem? I'm reading this article right here.
If we're gonna be talking about too many remakes, we need to stare down the ugly, like gory beast in the room, which is Horizon Zero Dawn. Does not need a fucking remaster, and it doesn't need a Lego game. Like, they're treating this thing like a legacy character, like Batman or something, and it's like the first one was a good game, and the second one was a slightly less good game, albeit more polished in some areas and less in others.
I'll be the minority opinion on that one. I didn't like either of them.
I think like the story in the first game could have been its self-contained thing. The second one is trying to set up like a third game, and so it had to kind of have that more open-ended ending. But they're making this third game and all the other future games without Lance Reddick, and they're
He was the best
it
part of
doesn't
it.
need a remake. Or sorry, a remaster.
Yeah. And then this article here, I'm reading PC Gamer. They mentioned how a lot of these remakes, they're cheaper to make than just creating an entirely new game, because you can still use some of the stuff there. Like you said, they're reusing the same voice actors there. I don't know if are they getting paid again because it's or
I don't know about that. With Silent Hill 2, your Resident Evil remakes, that's all new actors, that's all new stuff. Metal Gear is kind of unique as far as that goes, where it's just the exact same lines and everything. I don't know if there's any royalties being paid or not there. I also mark the contracts with like Japanese companies, I think, are a little different as well. So I don't know exactly how royalties work as far as that goes. I know David Hayter is super involved in the new one, but so he probably is making some. Have a good night.
Good night.
He's probably getting paid something because he's also doing a ton of marketing, but he's like the voice of the main character, so that also might be a special case. It's across like the whole franchise and stuff. So I don't know if anybody else is getting that sort of money. I mean, I know a few of the voice actors from Metal Gear have passed away, uh, in particular, and that's another reason not to redo new voice lines for it. I don't know. It's an interesting question about there being too many. I think I'm of two minds because one, corporations are going to do what they do, right? If anything seems like it's going to make money, they're going to do it and then do it and then overdo it and then overdo it again, right? And they'll run it into the ground. It's trend chasing. They do it with every single thing that makes money, right? So I think we'll see that, and I think like the Horizon remake or remaster, what exactly, how much work is going to that? Um, that one's weird. That one's unnecessary. Um, but I don't think we've hit a larger trend of like, oh, every time I see a remake, I roll my eyes because it's like the game just came out. I think the vast majority of the remakes that we've gotten, like the big high profile ones, have been games that have been 20 years old or, even a little older than that. Like you have some stuff that's, like Dead Space is a little more recent. That's more like 15 years, which I think that's still a decent amount of time. There was The Last of Us Part One, which was I think 10 years old at the time that that came out. I would say 10 years is like the absolute most recent something can be if you're going to do it like that. If something's more recent than 10 years, it's a stupid idea to remake it. But yeah, and I think it will probably happen over time, but I don't think it's developed into that sort of problem yet. I think we're still at the point where the majority of remakes are are still pretty thoughtful and are still of games that are pretty old. There's still ones I want to see that haven't happened yet. And also the other big thing, and that I think makes some of this a necessary thing, is game preservation in general. Um, you know, a lot of the stuff's not backwards compatible. Old like these stuff from these older consoles. A lot of it's not available on the digital stores. Yes, you can emulate things on PC, but if you're stuck with consoles, like Silent Hill 2 is a great example. You can't play that if you don't have either a PC that you can emulate it on, or are willing to shell out $200+ for a single copy of a video game off of a retro market. So I think there's also I think, yeah, I think one of the biggest things is there's a game preservation element to this. Is remakes are also keeping some of these old classics alive and accessible in a way that they wouldn't be available at all otherwise, or at least be very hard to get a hold of. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, corporations are going to trend chase. They're going to keep doing stuff like with this Horizon one. They are going to run it into the ground at some point. Like that's inevitable. But I still think we're in a really good place overall with them.
I do think they serve a purpose in some regard, like the Demon Souls remaster or remake, because remakes do tend to, like, if they actually go the mile and improve the games in the way that they can, I think it does make a world of difference. Dark Soul or Demon Souls is easier to visit as somebody who liked the 2008 game and as somebody who like liked this one, and I think it even served to catapult Elden Ring into a larger kind of category because people had been introduced by Blue Point's remake of it. So what I'm hoping is that some of the remasters of older games like Legacy of Kain are going to bring these games to a newer generation, because ask somebody what Legacy of Kain is and they're usually going to go, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know what
hope
a lot of younger people.
a lot of it. And I would even, yeah, so it's my hope is that remakes and remasters serve a purpose in kind of bridging the gap between older generations, or games don't have ports for these newer consoles or are no longer available on a digital or physical marketplace. But also you do get kind of like the Last of Us 1 remaster. It's not like it was really hard to get that old game, and it's not like it visually it did improve some things that I was like, okay, that's neat. But as somebody who had also just played Last of Us Part 1 and then I saw the announcement for the remaster, I was like, oh, I didn't really feel like it needed one. But so I know it's going to dance that kind of balance, and that there are going to be some absolutely essential ones and absolutely trash tier ones that are just kind of cash grabs. But ultimately, I think the former kind of makes the latter worth it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's different when it's a completely from the ground up type of remake, because the game is so old you can't really do anything with it. You got to remake it from the ground up there. I think that's a little bit different as opposed to like The Last of Us, you know what I mean, or something like that. You try to remaster, kind of remake that. And, yeah.
They actually did do it from the ground up, as weird as that sounds.
Oh, with The Last of Us, they did from the ground.
Yeah, that was a full remake. As unnecessary as it was, they did actually do that.
Okay.
Go that far with it. Which again, I don't know why they felt like they had to, but
so yeah, I think that's fine when you kind of do it like that. So the other stuff from the Tokyo Game Show here, like Sage was saying, really nothing too big that maybe we want to talk about. There's Dragon Quest 3, HD 2D
never a
remake.
franchise I've spent a lot of time with. Although I do recognize Akira Toriyama's designs in it, that's for sure.
There is you do love that Sonic and Shadows
Slander.
Generations. Uh,
He slandered my name.
so that's kind of seems like the main stuff there from this, and then there's
Yeah,
this game
the, the
for
only other
the.
big thing from TGS that I know of was the Death Stranding 2 thing.
Okay, let's take a look at the Death Stranding 2. Let me pull up this trailer here. So Death Stranding 2. And so it's a
Not going to make
trailer.
any sense, I'll tell you that now.
Let's see. So it's a new. Is it a 20-minute gameplay demo? Or...
Yeah, I think that's the right video. I think only the first 8 minutes are actually new footage, though.
Okay, so let's take a look here real quick. Let's get inside the mind of Hideo Kojima and his love of celebrity. Let's take a look.
Thank you.
L fanning there.
In the place where I came from, no one gave birth to babies. They just stayed inside their mother's bellies.
Well, in our world, babies are born and grow up to be adults. Or at least they're supposed to.
It's only natural that Tomorrow wouldn't understand. After all, she was living in the realm of the dead.
You got Alan Wake
Expect
cameo
children
right
to be
there.
born into something.
But
Yeah, the little puppet
will be born, right?
In due time, of course. Isn't that so?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Raindrops are falling on my head. And just like the
Okay, I'm gonna skip this because I might get in trouble for that on YouTube. I'm gonna skip that. Not because they're bad singers. I'm just got because I don't want to get copyrighted.
The puppet does join in on the song, just since you can't play it. Oh, it's
Just imagine the context of somebody doing that. Just not in Death Stranding.
And this character here, he's walking in the sea, is played by Nicholas Winding Refn. There's a lot of the characters are played by directors in this.
L47.37.
George Miller, Nicholas Winding Refn, and Guillermo del Toro are all characters.
Yeah, I guess he must just attract people. Like, hey, do you want to be in a video game? A lot of people go, sure. Being a video game be pretty cool. I guess if you just got offered.
I think a lot of film directors also because they know Hideo Kojima as like the auteur video game director. They're like, well, I don't really understand video games, but this guy wants to do something with me. So what the hell?
Yeah, okay. Okay. So that's pretty much
a lot of cutscene story stuff. Yeah, it's not really so much gameplay.
Okay.
But you're gonna have a little Alan Wake puppet hanging on you the whole game. It sounds like.
So are you gonna get Death Stranding 2? Either of you? Are you gonna get?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm definitely going to. I got the collector's edition of the first one. I've got the giant baby right here. There you go. Oh, it lights up and everything. That's the last time I bought a collector's edition for a game. Was the first one.
Are you gonna get it too?
Yeah, I slept on Death Stranding 1, and that was my mistake. I don't plan on doing it for the second one.
Okay. You missed out on the baby in a tube there. Like
yeah, when I finally did replay it, I was like, oh my god, I get the hype now. Fuck. I mean, it's like playing a movie.
Well, it's also an interesting thing too, because when Death Stranding first came out, a lot of it was like, it was late 2019, right, that it released, and a lot of people were like, man, this guy that has to like deliver supplies to people because some catastrophic thing made it so no one could go outside. That's so unrealistic and weird. That's such a weird idea. And then 2020 happened, and people started playing the game after the pandemic, and they're like, oh, this hits completely differently now. It's maybe the fastest turnaround I've ever seen on like predictive sci-fi.
So that's pretty much the main stuff. Not a whole lot from Tokyo Game Show. Go on to
that's pretty much it.
State of Play there. So what's some of the big things from State of Play? Let's take a look here. Let's see. There's the Astrobot here. It says Team Asobi has also received new speedrun levels and 10 new special bots to rescue from this fall. Apparently, this is stealing maybe game of the year. This is a lot of people loving this. It's got incredibly high marks all around.
It's at
You guys
least
have,
getting a nomination.
yeah. You haven't played it yet, have?
Not yet. I definitely would like to, and I'd love to come do a review when I do get the chance to play it. Yeah, I haven't been able to just yet, but yeah, it's just some free DLC. They opened the show with this. I think it's awesome. Add a little more to it. It sounds like they're going to continue to update it with some free DLC and like bonus characters. They've got a camel toe Astrobot in the game now. That's kind of what the big thing in the trailer is.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, some people saying this is this generation's Super Mario 64.
Yeah, yeah. And that it's even for the entire PlayStation, like all the different PlayStation systems. It's the Mario 64 of the PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Wow. Okay. High marks there. Ghost of Yoti here.
Now this was the big one. Like that, this was the really big one. I am so excited for this. I loved the Ghost of Tsushima. I've said before, I think on here that I don't platinum games really like doing the trophies or achievements if you're on like Xbox or Steam. To me, it's like once I see the credits, I finish the game. I'm done with it. But this was a special. That was the first game was a special one where I went out of my way to do everything because I just couldn't get enough of it, and just also trusting Sucker Punch in general and their kind of whole history as a game developer from Sly Cooper to Infamous now to this franchise. I am immensely excited for this game.
Okay. I'm going to come back to this because there's something interesting what's going on with the actress. So I'm going to close out on that just a bit there. Come back to that. So there's what Tim was ranting about, Horizon Zero Dawn remastered there. And they kind of changed the outlaw. They kind of changed the way she looked a bit in this.
A little
Rated.
A little bit.
It's basically just her updated model from the second game. Really, that's kind of all it is.
Yeah.
I guess there's the little kid version of her. Maybe that's not, you don't see that in the second one, but I mean it doesn't look so substantially different. I mean, it's a little cleaner. I mean, if you've never played these games before and you're interested in them,
Because the first one came out in 2017.
Yeah, 2017. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's not old enough. I would say 2029 would be the earliest that a remake should happen for this game. Should be 12 years after the original. But I mean, it does look a little better. Like I'm not gonna say it looks exactly the same or that there's no work been put into it, but it does it like I don't know. The other thing is like if you go onto the PlayStation store and you see this for 40, $50 or whatever, and then the original is 20 or 30 or whatever, I feel like I could see a lot of people still just buying the cheaper version because it's like, oh, it's the same game. I'll just get the one that's cheaper. So I wonder if they'll even kind of hurt their own sales in that sense.
Let me see what the first one looks like. Let me see if I can pull that trailer here. So let me do a little comparing. So this is first one. Still looks pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, it looks great.
It's if somebody hasn't played Horizon Zero Dawn, I would say sure, buy the remastered version instead. They did announce the remastered version and then more than double the price of the first game on the digital marketplaces. It went from 15 to 35 USD overnight for the same old ass game. But yeah, they'll do list the old version, so everyone's forced to get the new one as soon as it launches.
So this is him. This is a character playing the first one right here. That still looks pretty solid, I would say. I say this, and he played this. Person played this 4 years ago.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of these games, I won't lie, but visually, it's definitely not. It's not a problem at all.
Yeah. So you got that. Let's see from here. State of play here. Yeah, you listen say they'll delist the old version, so everyone is forced to get the new one for full price. Yeah, probably they'll probably do some shit like that. They also this is the one also Tim was read the Lego Horizon Adventures
I will add to that. Not only is this remaster slash remake happening, there's this Lego thing. Two things. There is a live service game in development, like an online multiplayer Horizon spinoff in development. There's a third game in the trilogy or series or whatever in development. And then I heard that it might have been canceled now, but there was going to be a live action series adaptation for Netflix as well. That may be canned, but that's still four things they're doing all at once. I think they're just going a little too all in on this franchise too fast. Like, look, it's popular. Don't get me wrong. It's popular. I know I might be in the minority on not really liking these all that
So
much.
is
But
Alloy considered like a legacy character, like a Kratos or Nathan Drake for Sony?
she's on a lot of those banners with those
Okay.
characters whenever they do big promotional stuff. There's I mean there's a big fan base, but I think they're gonna burn that fan base out by releasing so many things so close together.
Yeah. Maybe you pick this up for your nephews there, Tim. You got some cousins, nephews there. Pick up Lego Horizon there.
I like to think they've got better taste. But like with Lego things, you tend to see like Star Wars, Batman, or just established IPs. And I feel like Horizon, it is an established IP. It is like now a Sony legacy IP. But I just don't see how there's enough of that. There's been 2 games and a comic and a VR game. I'm not really sure where the wealth of references and witty callbacks there are in there.
I mean, one thing that makes a lot of the Lego games kind of what they are and is kind of the appeal of them is that every one of them is like based on a franchise where you can have like 400 characters to unlock. So it'll keep kids busy for a really long time, right? Because there's so much stuff to collect. What the hell 300, 400 playable characters are you getting out of the Horizon franchise? I can't think of more than one.
Well, you can put on the different outfits. You can see you can dress up as a little bit.
You can Sackboy. That's the biggest thing I know about Horizon is Sackboy.
I guess Ratchet from
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
I guess you could say this Lego game is Ratchet and Clank.
Live service. This franchise is Speedwalking.
That is.
Don't forget about the TV show and the animated series.
Oh yes, there is a TV show coming. I think on Amazon they're doing a TV show.
Yep.
I thought the show was going to be a Netflix thing, but I also think it might have been canceled. Don't quote me on that for sure, but I thought I read that it might have been canceled. They weren't doing it anymore. But if they are still doing it, that's 5 things.
Oh, thank God.
Oh yes. So this says Netflix ambitious Horizon Zero Dawn show is dead for now, and this was in July 5th.
Okay.
Yeah. So dead. Yeah. Right now. So
at least one of those things is coming out.
All right. What else we got here? The PlayStation 5 Pro. There. We already talked about this. The announcement of this. Who's it for? Me and Sage there did a video about that. And it's also announcing some new colorways for the PlayStation 5 that you can get.
Just sell us plates and be done with it. Just sell the plastic bits that clip to the side of the system and stop doing this.
Yeah. I don't need to buy a 5th controller, and I don't need to buy a 3rd console.
Yeah.
Just give me the plates.
It'd be cool because they released that PlayStation 5 that had for its 30th year anniversary, they made it look like the PlayStation 1 50th year anniversary.
Yeah. If you sold those like just the plastic bits for like $30 that you can change what it looks like, I might get some of those. But just the fact that it's like, well, it's a slightly different looking system for $700. It's just like, come on.
This is also something you were interested in here.
Oh yeah.
Any new the Lake House, the Alan Wake DLC there.
Hell yeah, very excited about this. So the Control had kind of an Alan Wake centered DLC that was a bit of a crossover between Control and Alan Wake and kind of set up the plot of Alan Wake 2 in a really nice way. Now, this is the second DLC for Alan Wake 2, and it is about the local Federal Bureau of Control station that is in the town that Alan Wake 2 takes place in. So it is like a government facility, very much related to the Federal Bureau of Control. There's not a ton of detail here. It's a teaser that doesn't give it too much, but during the main events of Alan Wake 2, you do hear from a character named Kieran Estevez, played by Janine Gavankar, about the Lake House station going dark. So this is about something that happens kind of either during the game or right before the game, something like that. So it'll be kind of concurrent with the narrative, and you'll be playing as the Agent Estevez character, which will be interesting. Because you played as a ton of different characters across this game, and you know, the Federal Bureau of Control. It's all about cataloging these like altered items, objects of power, these paranormal things that could cause a lot of destruction. The big thing in the trailer there is you see there was a painting on the wall at the back of that hallway, and it's kind of hard to tell fully maybe exactly what you're hearing them say without subtitles, but the painting appears to be like screaming at you. And in the first Alan Wake, there's a little part of the plot where
Oh shit.
so full horror tone there. Yeah, so in the first one, Alan Wake game, there's a sequence where you are basically kidnapped by this therapist who tries to convince Alan that he's going crazy. He's got him up at this lodge that helps artists with like writer's block and other issue in their creative stride, because of course Alan Wake's all about fiction coming into contact with this nightmare dimension, which causes fiction to come true and can alter reality. You speak to a painter very briefly. It's like a 2-3 minute conversation in the first Alan Wake, a painter named Rudolph Lane. And the first thing I thought when I saw that teaser, and I've seen a lot of people with the same idea online, that this is going to center around all of the paintings that this character was doing at the lodge in the first game. So this is a deep cut if that's what's going on. Real small detail to kind of circle back to and make a whole expansion about.
October is when this DLC is coming out. Perfect for the season there. Horror season.
Since they didn't have an exact release date, I'm assuming it'll be close to the end of the month.
Yeah, because it just says just October. That's all it says right here. It doesn't say give a specific release date. And you'll be giving a review of that. Hopefully.
Hell yeah.
Reviews. You also have Arc Age Chronicles here. Dragon Age, the Veilguard here. Dynasty Warriors Origins. Neo Dimension, Fantasian, Neo Dimension. Fear the Spotlight here. Another horror game.
Yeah, because Fear the Spotlight's got kind of like a retro PS1 thing going on. I've played a few stuff, things like that, and they could be kind of cool. This also Blumhouse is like getting into the video game business, and I think this is their first release. So
okay.
Could be interesting. It's kind of wild to see the video game industry. I feel like for the last decade or so, indie games have been all about pixel art, kind of harkening back to the Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo kind of era of video games. And now there is kind of this whole wave of retro PlayStation 1 N64 polygon aesthetics, which is kind of cool for horror. I mean, there's something interesting about like the low resolution and kind of liminal space that you can do with that. It could be kind of interesting. I played a couple other ones that are kind of fun. I guess we'll see how this turns out, but It's the first of many games to come from Blumhouse.
Yeah, Blumhouse making shitty movies. Maybe gonna make some shitty games. Who knows? Blumhouse there. Tim, you can maybe get yourself a Fortnite controller here. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
Impress the kiddos there. Fortnite controller. You can do
Tim, I
all
know
the
you said
dance.
you don't need another controller, but are you sure a Fortnite one isn't enough to tempt you?
Yeah. Very personalized Fortnite controller just for you. That they got out there. Hell is Us.
I'm kind of curious about this one. It's there's a lot of Souls likes out there. I've played a few that I try them, and then once I've actually gotten into them, they're kind of bounce off and lose interest. But aesthetically, it's at least kind of interesting. It almost looks like if Death Stranding and like Dark Souls had a weird baby. I don't know. That's like the best I can think to describe it. It's got these weird creatures, this weird fantasy aesthetic, but then it's also got this grungy kind of post-apocalyptic sci-fi feel. I mean, the guy with the poncho and like the stuff on his back and the weird machinery. I don't know. It's at least weird enough that I am gonna keep an eye on it. I don't know how it'll actually turn out, but I don't know. The art of it at least is kind of strange enough that I'm at least curious.
Yeah, he does have the Norman Reedus Death Stranding fit. He does got that on.
Yeah, he's even got like the little equipment on like his back and shoulder and stuff.
He's got himself a looks like a Steam Deck.
Doesn't have
He's
a
got
baby
right here.
though. Steam Deck. You got a
Yeah,
game in the apocalypse, man.
yeah. So it looks interesting. Looks pretty kind of interesting here. It says today's state of play
It could go
brought
either way.
first gameplay for the upcoming PS5 action adventure Hell is Us. The game won't hand answers to players on a silver platter. Instead, they will need to pay attention to what they see and hear to connect the dots and make their own discoveries. So you got that. This is just a VR game here for Hitman. Soul Reaver.
Hey, there we go.
You were talking about this, Tim. They're doing a kind of remastered Legacy of King. Are you a fan of Legacy of King?
Yeah. Played the games a bunch when I was a kid on the PlayStation 1 and then 2. I think they had a lot of value, but they were definitely an underappreciated series for how cool some of the story beats were.
Yeah, and some people were complaining about the statue in this. They said the statue's changed; it's less female, I guess. They made the statue, so apparently they changed the statue.
Oh,
game's ruined.
I guess, or less.
No, that is one point. Is this one kind of doing a little bit of a closer look at how it'll work? Apparently, you'll be able to swap back and forth between the old and the remastered graphics on the fly with the press of a button. And you'll also they're trying as hard as possible to get the old visual style down, statue fuckability aside. And I think based on some of what I've seen, yeah, it does look like they've maintained the same vibe of the original one, because they did actually get the was it Crystal Oasis that did the original one? They got the source code from it. Crystal Dynamics. They got the original source code from Crystal Dynamics, or what was left of them. And so they were actually able to go into all these and work with the original files to get as close as the mark that they could.
Yeah. So you'll be able to switch back and forth between the old graphics and the new graphics. You see that, okay?
So yeah, it's essentially giving people the original game and also the remastered version, which I am a huge fan of. That kind of, because like why the fuck not?
So why would people bitch about the statue then?
Yeah, just press the button and you can have all the fantasies about that statue.
And this is to commemorate the 25th anniversary of Soul Reaver. They announced this, and it will launch December 10th. There is that something you'll pick up, Tim? You'll pick it up or maybe play it?
I think yeah. I think I'm going to definitely be picking that up, because I can't get those games to work on the emulator anymore, at least not as easily as just booting up a game would. and sometimes you don't want to go through the effort of getting your emulators to work, and it's like, oh shit, I haven't played in a month, time to go update the emulator before I play it, and these connections, time to go. And it's like, no, I want to be able to just pick up the PlayStation console like I did 20 years ago, be this stupid vampire ghost.
I also want to mention too, so there's 4 games in the Legacy of Kain franchises. There's Blood Omen 1 and 2, and then there's Soul Reaver 1 and 2. This is a remaster of Soul Reaver 1 and 2. But they also announced that on the PlayStation Plus digital catalog, Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen 1 is also going to be dropping. It's not remastered at all. It's just a straight port, but they are bringing that to the PlayStation Plus catalog. So you'll have 3 of the 4 games by the time this comes out.
And here's the hope that they're only releasing Blood Omen kind of like that because we're going to be getting a remake of it, because Blood Omen 1 and 2, those are the older ones of the 4,
PS1.
correct? Yeah, I can see those being much harder to recreate the style of, because I actually do have an old PS2 disc for Soul Reaver 2 somewhere. But Blood Omen is fucking impossible to find physical copies of unless you're online.
Yeah, I wonder how much it cost. Probably $500.
If it's cheaper than Silent Hill 3, it'll be a miracle.
Man, let's see here. Not too bad. I see on here somebody selling on eBay for $350.
Ooh.
So they dropped the price. $350. Yeah, they dropped the price.
I have to pick that up.
It was $450. So hey, you're getting a bargain, man. They dropped it. Dropped the price on it. Yeah. All right. There's Lunar Remastered Collection. Metroid.
Blood Omen 2 was made at the same time as Soul Reaver 2. So it's just Blood Omen 1. That's the older PS1 one.
Let's see. Metro Awakening, Monster Hunter Wilds, Power World there. And this is
a PS5 release and a lawsuit at the same time.
Yeah, PS5 release is coming to it. Yeah.
'Tis the season.
Stellar Blade. This was also got people excited. It's going to be a Stellar Blade and Nier Automata team up there. Automata team up. Are you excited about that team up?
Not really. I mean, I haven't played Stellar Blade. They took the camel toe out, so I just can't bring myself to do it. But no. What's funny is Stellar Blade kind of feels like a bit of a ripoff of Nier Automata to me. I mean, the basic plot of both games is there's a robot lady that comes to Earth to save humanity from some sort of creature or evil machine or what have you. And they
save them from horniness. Save them from that horniness.
Oh, that's an impossible. That's like a task of Atlas holding up the world at that point. But I don't know. I guess it's an officially sanctioned ripoff if they're doing a crossover. But I don't know. I played that demo for Stellar Blade, that free demo that they put out, and I didn't think it had nearly the personality that Nier Automata did. But that's just me.
What about you, Tim? You team camel toe, team no camel toe? You playing Stellar Blade?
I've never actually got into the Nier series, and this is probably my greatest shame. Well, not greatest shame. I haven't really gotten into Metal Gear, and that's a greater shame. But it's kind of wild to see, because I think that game came out a few years ago, and so it getting any update was kind of a surprise. Because when I saw it initially, I was like, "Oh, a new Nier game, more game I haven't played." But no, it's just an update, which is cool.
That came out in 2017, I believe.
Oh, so 7 years later, they're getting a kind of a mashup.
Yeah, it says Shift Up announced the upcoming Celebrate and Nier Automata DLC pack with exciting new content. On the same day, a new photo mode feature will be added to Stellar Blade and be available to all players. More soon on the DLC, including its release date. That's not all. The full original soundtrack of Stellar Blade will be available today on over 30 streaming platforms across the globe.
Wow.
Okay. There you go.
I will say Yoko Taro, who is the kind of creator of the Nier franchise, and director of those games. He might be the most honest video game developer out there because I saw a quote from him, and he said like something like, "Yeah, if you want our character in your game, just give us money and we'll do it. We don't care what it is, just any game. Give us money and it'll happen."
What's his
He's
price?
at least I don't know what the price is, but he's very honest about how how the business works.
You also have here Midnight Walk, which kind of looks like a Nightmare Before Christmas type style
Yeah, I
there.
thought this looked interesting. It looks like it's both a regular PlayStation game and then there's also like a VR version of it. Like yeah, claymation horror game. I really like the art style. I thought this looked pretty interesting. It's another one where I guess kind of like Hell is Us, where it's not necessarily like, oh, I'm definitely gonna pick it up, but I'm at least keeping an eye on it because I think it looks unique enough that I want to
Yeah,
at least see where it goes.
yeah, looks very unique. Looks very unique, creative there with the art style
This
there.
studio did another game called Lost in Random that came out last year that I think also had kind of a claymation style as well. So it might just be this studio's kind of aesthetic.
Yeah, and this is coming out spring 2025. Let's stay for this. You have Shredder's Revenge. They're adding radical reptiles there to it, and you guys played
Okay.
Shredder's Revenge on
Yeah,
stream.
we did. We did big group stream for it. Had a full set of players, and then me and Tim came back later to do the DLC expansion they put out last year. Is that last year, Tim?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
Yeah, right around
we're still getting more of this. Is actually kind of awesome. This is another one where I was like, Radical Reptiles, is this a sequel? No, we're still getting more updates for it. So I'm all a fan of them putting out content years after the fact to keep these games a little bit more relevant.
I will say this is only some new characters and not necessarily like new levels to play through. So I guess for me, it's not necessarily going to make me go install the game, just to play as the other characters. But and if I ever circle back to it, I mean, it'll be nice to have the extra variety at least for sure.
Okay. Shadow and Sonic and Shadow, their generations.
Oh yeah.
I guess you have to have something. I guess due to the this DLC for the upcoming film, they have to have something to tie into that. Get people. If you love Sonic 3, maybe go ahead and go and play a Sonic and Shadow game there.
It's gonna be like Keanu Reeves doing the voice for like the level in the game too. So it's like movie related DLC. We can't go like a week without seeing Shadow. Like we can't like a week does not go by without something about this character making its way into the news. I don't know if you remember seeing this back in January, but there was a promotional trailer put out, and it was 2024, the year of Shadow. And they made this it's like January. They made this big deal about how this year would be just like not all Shadow all the time, and I am sick of it.
Give Shadow his gun back.
I don't think you can, man. Gun control, man. The Democrats are taking the guns away, man, for everybody, man, including the
hedgehog. Won't let
those
hedgehogs have their guns? Oh man.
Including the hedgehog.
The liberal left is taking Shadow the Hedgehog's gun away. Can you believe it?
That's this game Towers.
I hope Shadow the Hedgehog becomes like a right-wing influencer.
Yeah. Towers of Agaspa definitely looks like something I'm probably going to be at the very least downloading when it comes free to PlayStation Plus. But it does actually look rather interesting. So
it kind of looks like it's a little bit like Horizon Zero Dawn, a little bit. Kind of got that vibe.
It's like
it reminds me a
like
little.
Monster Hunter.
What do you all think there?
What was it? Phoenix Rising or something that came out towards the beginning of the PlayStation 5 life cycle. It kind of reminds me of that, but made it more kind of visually realistic, at least in terms of the environmental art. So, but it also
Phoenix
gives
Rising.
some Shadows of the Colossus type vibes with these massive creatures that you're crawling around on.
And it's coming out in November this year. The vibrant and gorgeous open world adventure provides a first look at the city building, ecosystem development, combat, and exploration gameplay. Discover all of Shiba's secrets when it launches early access on PS5 this November. So you do have that. All right. So to get to pretty much, I think the thing that stole the show and state of play, which it was the ghost of Yote there. Let's play this trailer and get into it.
We are beyond the edge of Japan. People come north to disappear. But you are hunting. And now, every Ronin here is after you. Still think you're the hunter?
Dun dun dun! It's a fucking woman. Oh my god. Jeez, can you fucking believe that?
Ruined, I say, ruined.
How am I supposed to enjoy things now?
So yeah, that was the announcement trailer for that. I think pretty much by far, I would say that's probably the biggest announcement to come out of State of Play. This being a follow up to the much acclaimed Ghost of Tsushima. And so in this game, Ghost of Yote centers around the theme of underdog vengeance. The story is set in 1603 in Hodoki, Japan there. Hodoku, Japan. Players will take control of Atsu, a female warrior who adopts the persona of the ghost. Atsu will be portrayed by Erika Ishii. Developers have claimed that players will have more control over Atsu's narrative and choices compared to Ghost of Tsushima. Were you guys big fans of Ghost of Tsushima?
I was a massive fan of it. I mean, I mentioned earlier, I 100%ed that game, and I don't do that with a lot of stuff. I generally tend to ignore trophies and achievements and that kind of outside of the game, that extra list of stuff you can do. But that's one of the very, very few where I've loved a game so much I went out of my way to get even that. I've got like the platinum on my PlayStation and everything. Uh, and when they put that expansion out, it just enriched it even more. It's easily probably my game of the year it came out. So I mean, I'm pumped. I'm incredibly stoked for this sequel, or I guess maybe not a sequel in the traditional sense, but continuation of this franchise, and also Sucker Punch as a studio. Um, I don't think they've ever made like a bad game. I mean, they did, Sly Cooper 1, 2, 3 on the PS2. Big fan of those. They did Infamous games on the PlayStation 3. I also thought those were really great, especially at a time when we weren't getting a lot of superhero games. Those really filled in a nice niche at the time. And then I guess maybe the weakest title of theirs, I thought maybe that Infamous Second Son, that third Infamous game that is, that one was okay, but it still wasn't terrible. And then Ghost of Tsushima was like one of my favorite games ever. So this studio has an amazing track record. I have no reason to doubt them or what they're going to put out, like even a little bit.
And do a like the in-depth kind of that they did, the few paragraphs that they gave for it. They kind of go into that this is set 300 years after the first game. It's set in the area now known as Hokkaido in 1603, and so that was outside the rule of Japan at the time. And so, in contrast to the cities, towns, and settlements that we see, maybe not cities, but towns and settlements in Ghost of Tsushima, we're going to see these more open landscapes. We're going to be seeing less established settlements and kind of more spread apart things. And you can kind of see that in just how fast some of those open spaces were. They were truly sprawling. And that, like Ghost of Tsushima was big, but you kind of get the vibe with this trailer that this is going to somehow be bigger, and I'm going to spend even more time 100%ing this fucking game. And it's going to be great because they are trying to go for that same vibe and pay respect to the original game while telling a new story, while continuing to tell the story of a ghost. And I think they're going to do a really good job, hopefully, of maintaining those thematic elements that made the first game work, or those gameplay elements that made the first game work, while just kind of expanding upon them. Essentially do what Horizon 2 kind of failed to do between the first and second game.
Yeah. And Ghost of Tsushima came out 4 years ago. Time for a remaster. Time for a remake of that game. Only came out 4 years ago. It's too old. We got to remaster it now. Gotta do that with it.
See, you say that, but Horizon 2 came out less than 4 years ago, and they were working on the remake for 1 when that came out. So it was like around 5 or 6 years ago that they would have started working on that remake.
Oh man. So yeah. And the stuff with the kind of the new character in here, Atsu there, who's going to be the new protagonist you take on. And we had that kind of joke there discussing the character being female. So there's been some reaction to that online, as always, as there always is there.
From a bunch of losers.
So this is some of the things there that some people are talking about here negatively towards it. So this is tweet right here. So somebody put up, okay, this person says a screenshot of a tweet that somebody has that says "Ghost is cooked, it's over," and it's just a screenshot of the actress, her personal life. So it shows that Ishii openly identifies as queer, bisexual, or pansexual with no preference between labels and gender fluid. They've been very vocal in their opposition to transphobia and have raised funds for LGBT supporting charities such as the Trevor Project. So somebody posted that saying that Ghost is cooked is over there because of the actress, because of their personal life there, and then says the person who did that was okay. So now show me how this has any effect on Sucker Punch delivering on a sequel starring a female protagonist. There, so you got that. Also, the actress of the game there, she's been preemptively blocking people there. Like people who went to go find out
Good
who
on her.
the voice actor was. They come to find out that she's already blocked people. So this is a screenshot there showing all the numerous people she blocked. This one says the actress of Ghost of Tsushima sequel is actively blocking people on Twitter. That will work wonders for the game, I'm sure. This other person says I've never spoken with or interacted with this person in my entire life. This first person I always mention. Yeah, this is right there with you, and then they show also that they've been blocked. Yeah, and then this other person down here also shows that they've been blocked as well.
You know what that is?
What is that?
That's people. That's people telling on themselves.
Yeah,
Making those posts.
I mean, I went to go see who she was on Twitter. I wasn't blocked, so I mean,
they're telling on themselves, and they're telling, or like, she's versed in the internet. Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
they might as well have let a ghost in the game or something. Oh wait.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, why you would make a big deal about being blocked by her. I mean, even if I was blocked, I wouldn't care if I was blocked. I mean, I would go,
Right.
okay. I mean, whatever.
If
I
you
don't
didn't
need
know
that.
who she was yesterday, why does it matter?
Exactly. You didn't know who this person was literally yesterday. You didn't know who this person was. Now all of a sudden, you know what I mean? You're that fascinated by them and everything. And then one of the tweets that kind of went viral in the sense of its negativity towards the game, I'll pull that up as well, just talking about taking the lead there of being a female protagonist there. But yeah, why do you all think there has been such a this kind of reaction there?
People are stupid. not to mince the words or anything, but it's just over and over again. It's like a Pavlovian response that some of these people have developed. And I mean, again, like all of them posting, "Oh, hey, I'm already blocked." Well, gee, I wonder what else you've been doing the last 2 to 3 years on Twitter. Like, I feel like that tells me all I need to know about that. But it's just anything now, right? You're just gonna get a number of people. It just doesn't even matter what it is. For instance, and we can talk about this maybe even more so in a moment. But she also is the face and I believe voice of Sector in the Mortal Kombat 1 expansion that just came out. So she's
Yes.
played one of the new characters there. She's, I believe, been on Critical Role, the like D&D like YouTube show for a number of years. She's been in quite a few other video games.
Oh,
Guarantee stuff that a lot of these people have already played and just not
this
thought to
is
Google her before.
this is her whole resume right here, video games.
Tons of
Um,
stuff.
and then she's also been in television shows. She's also been voicing some films, as you can see right here, as well. So it's kind of funny saying people that, oh, well, she does not going to have a long career in voice acting with her beliefs, and you see that she's been doing this for quite a while now, over 7 years, in fact. And see, look at her other resume and other things.
And she was in Critical Role, and that was a terrific spot for her, because I think like that's kind of a nice blend where actors can kind of like both be kind of in a role, but also they pour some of themselves into that role. So it's kind of a nice kind of thing to see. I really think that it's kind of the same people getting mad as like Starfield putting pronoun options into character creation. It's like something so infinitely small that you don't really notice it unless it either is something that you were looking for in a feature in a game, or you're someone that likes to make reactionary content. And reactionary content creators are always going to scrape the bottom of the barrel of whatever they think people can kind of dogpile on. And women in video games is kind of one of those classic things that like people have just been like, oh, girls in video games. Oh, no, I can't be happy.
Stay out of my treehouse.
Can't we have one thing? Oh, Laura Croft.
And this is kind of what this person, that was kind of something that Tim was making fun of. This is kind of basically what this person said. It says, Ghost of Tsushima sequel stars a Japanese woman samurai warrior, because of course it does. Even though somebody did point out, in history, there have been female warriors in Japan
There was one in Ghost of Tsushima. She was like the head of
They
her
were
family.
one of the first game. Yeah, she's one of like the main like quest lines for the side missions. Lady, was it Hirosaki? Was her name? I
Yep.
want to say it was her name. Yeah, it was a huge part of that game. It's already in the first one.
It says they can't help themselves until every franchise that was built on masculinity is replaced by women. Ghost of Yote is hopefully a smaller spin-off game But this is the true sequel. But if this is the true sequel, it is the true sequel. I mean, the bro is coping. You think what this is gonna be like that Uncharted thing, where it's kind of like a little bit of a 5 hour like kind of spinoff type thing? Like I don't know. Like
I mean, maybe that's what they think, but if that was the case, I think it would have been a lot more clear right away that that's what it was, if that's what it was going to be.
yeah. And this the new main character over Jin. Fuck that. So sick of the forced girl boss narrative, man. So that's what this person had to say there. So some people, yeah, were upset. They said that why can't Jin's story continue? Why can't there be another game with Jin in it? And then I think either you said it to me or maybe somebody else did. Of saying like, well, his story's finished. It's done.
I think that was me.
Yeah. So
it feels complete. That the last boss fight in at the end of the first game was one of the most like marrying gameplay and storytelling, like emotionally satisfying conclusions I think I've ever had in a video game where like you've got great mechanics. The game doesn't just throw some random stuff at you just for the sake of a boss fight at the end. It's like all built into what you've been learning the whole game. It's relating to the story that's been building up the whole game. It feels very intimate and personal, and it feels like this complete character arc. Like sure, could if you really wanted to, could you have done a sequel? I mean, yeah, you could have done a straight sequel for sure. It wouldn't have been impossible, but I felt so completely satisfied by that ending. I never felt like there had to be more. If they were gonna make more, I would have taken it, of that character. But I didn't feel like there needed to be more. And then, I mean, one other point I want to make too. Let's just say hypothetically, for the argument's sake, you you don't really like her personal politics. Well, guess what? She's not writing it. She's an actress that's been paid to come in and play a character. She's not like the producer at the studio or writing the script or anything. So like why she is the target of like ire in that scenario is just it just boggles the mind completely for me.
Ulysses said, "We all know the only thing scarier for masculinity than a woman warrior is a woman who can block you on Twitter." He said there. Um, yeah, and then so it seems like I think the large part of the reason. So they found out it was a female protagonist. Then they had to come up with another reason to find something else because they couldn't just say because it'd be I guess way too obvious just to say even though people already know it is, but you can't just say I'm not gonna play it because just because a woman, even though somebody did say that. I mean, Asmongold was a big streamer that asked the question, do I have to play as a woman? So that thing. So you had to come up with another reason there. It's like, well, I don't like her politics, and so somebody dug up some old tweets that she did there, and then some of these old tweets.
Aren't these the people that keep saying people shouldn't be like canceled or like kicked off things because of old tweets?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I think these are the same people. But so these are some of the quote unquote bad tweets there that this had that makes that makes the game unplayable. So when one tweet she says, "Drunk guy got up in my space at the arcade to ask, are you single?" While I was playing a rhythm game, I shouted, "Dude, if you bother me while I'm playing a game, I will kick your fucking ass." As my girlfriend and Femme Fatale walked up to flank me. Haven't seen him since. Um, don't know what's really bad about that one too much, but okay.
it's every drunk man's legal right to harass lesbians at the bar. I don't know what you're not getting about this, Josh.
Then this one says, "Look now, is the time to reach across the aisle to Trump supporters and tell them, fuck racism and homophobia and fascism. That's not a difference of political ideology. That is oppression, and we will reject it." So that's, I guess, a quote unquote bad one. I guess. I mean, this one she's not even
in jail.
Because this one I don't think she's even saying like all Trump supporters are racist or anything like that. I don't think with that one. That's not.
It's literally saying talk to the other side and help them see like reason, and that's bad. Reason's bad.
This other one. So this says abolish the police It is unconscionable to allow this racist institution to terrorize the citizens that are sworn they are sworn to protect, abolish the police there. That's a quote unquote bad one there. Some people said also because she's playing a samurai, which is close to what the police were in feudal Japan, even though somebody pointed out that samurai were not the equivalent of police in feudal Japan. Like somebody pointed that out. But even if she did have the position on the police and like played a police character, she's playing a character in a fictional media, so I don't understand how those things relate there.
Yeah, it's a stretch to connect them.
Also, so this other one says also can't help but notice the article focused mostly on the mechanics of our game and not which Pokemon is most fuckable, which we spent far more time on that in that episode. But fine, I guess I'll be the one that just keeps us focused up the important questions there. Keeps us focused.
That just sounds like she's making a joke. Like, that doesn't
Yeah.
even sound like a serious statement at
Yeah.
all.
I don't know if somebody's trying to say she's a furry or something like that or what, or yeah, it just sounds like she's just making a joke with that.
How are they gonna go after her for that, but not go after Tucker Carlson for wanting to fuck the M&Ms? Sorry, just the one with the sexy
People have
go-go
let
boots.
go. Yeah, he's mad about those missing go-go boots. Yeah, people have let that go far too easily.
Ulysses said, "Samurai are like the furthest thing from cops in every way."
Yeah, it's not at all the same thing.
Yeah. And as Tim was mentioning, yeah, I mean, you got the people that are, making thumbnails like this, you know what I mean? Woke on it right there, what goes to Tsushima. And that's just what you type in. As soon as you type in goes to Tsushima, that's kind of some of the first videos you kind of get there. It's kind of that kind of slop type content there with it if you type that in below there. Yeah. I mean, so it's a shame there. I mean, it looks like she's already pretty much prevented a lot of that due to the blocking. So she's got that. She's protecting her peace there with that, and the game
At least
looks
she
good.
seems more prepared than a lot of other people.
Yeah, I mean that is true. I mean she's savvy. I guess she has been doing it for a minute. I mean she has been in the industry quite a bit of time now. Mortal Kombat 1, and she's been in games. These aren't small games nobody's ever heard of. I mean Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. She's been in Apex Legends, Deathloop, Halo Infinite, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Marvel's Avengers, Last of Us Part 2. She's been in Fallout 76, but I know Sage hates that game. But yeah, she's been in quite a bit of things, man. So yeah, she's been in for a minute now. But the game,
Someone doing their job. I mean, ultimately, all it's coming down to. I mean, even if you hypothetically had an issue with the game's story, which I don't know why you would, but even if you did, that comes down to executive producers and the people at like Sony, right? If you really did have a problem with it, those are the people who you'd make a complaint towards, not the actor, right? That just got hired to do the part.
and they don't have a solid release date for this. Just says 2025. That's it.
I can see that getting pushed back because it seemed it's such a light teaser. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and Assassin's Creed Shadow that got pushed back to 2025.
That did get pushed back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 9/11 for gamers there. Black samurai and a female samurai headlining the game. That's 9/11.
I do think that could be really dangerous for Ubisoft because people have been all that stuff part of it aside. Just the kind of people being tired of Ubisoft's open world game design and kind of repetitive releases, like Star Wars Outlaws didn't review super well, released kind of buggy, right? Felt a little unfinished. Assassin's Creed has just had issues with that over the last several games. So, when the first Ghost of Tsushima came out, a lot of people were like, "Oh, hey, it's that samurai game that everybody's been begging Ubisoft to make for 10 years and they refused to do it. Well, here's somebody did it better anyway." So if Ubisoft does put out a game set in Japan super close to when this Ghost of Yote game comes out, I feel like it'll really hurt Ubisoft and it'll hurt the sales of that game if these two release close together.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows does have a solid release. It's coming out in February of 2025, so I don't know when this maybe fall.
We'll see, because it seemed like November 17th or whatever it was solid too. So I don't know.
we'll see. So yeah, Ghost of Yota. Yeah, that was.
I'm very excited.
I'm excited as well. Can't wait there. Um, yeah, I mean, besides for playing as a woman, my spirits are pretty up there.
Now, how am I supposed to be the Ghost of Tsushima in my mind?
Yeah. Yeah.
These guys are just mad they weren't cast as the new Ghost.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, they wouldn't be having the kind of, it's like, how could you not continue Jin's story if it was another guy? I don't think they'd be saying that. I don't think they'd say.
Definitely not.
Just trying to come up with some other excuses there. Did guys want to do the trailer reactions to some of this stuff, or did you want to do more Combat Chaos Reigns review, or did you and then do?
I'm cool with sticking around for all of it, Tim. I don't know if what your time is like, but I'm good to keep going.
I do actually have to get going in a couple minutes, so I might just step out now.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. Thanks for joining us, man. Thanks for helping Sage with that Uzumaki review, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, and let's hope the Sony State of Play continues to be this promising. Lego Horizon aside.
Yeah, Lego Ghost of Tsushima next.
Lego, yeah, I'd be okay with that. Have a good one, everyone.
Take care, Tim. All right. Let's do these quick trailers here. So it's Nosferatu. I can do Like a Dragon Yakuza here, and then do that one. So yeah, let's do it. And then you can do Mortal Kombat 1 Chaos Reigns there.
Cool.
Do that. So let's play this Nosferatu. I haven't seen this trailer. Nosferatu.
I've not seen this one either myself.
The second trailer here, Robert Eggers. Hasn't missed yet. So let's take a look.
Hasn't missed.
Come to me. Come to me.
I've never shared my secret with any soul.
You've had these spells since childhood. Tell me what you can from the beginning.
It is like a dream. It was our wedding. When we turned around, everyone was dead. The stench of their bodies was horrible. Standing before me was death. But I'd never been so happy.
This creature is a force more powerful than evil. Its desire is to consume all life on Earth. Only you can redeem us. He is coming.
There is a devil in this world, and I have met him.
But you could never please me as he could.
Oh, shit.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Perfect time. Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
And I like how they're still keeping Bill Skarsgård hidden as Count Warlock. They're still keeping him hidden.
I hope we don't see him until the movie comes out. I hope that's a surprise on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah. What is your thoughts there? Second trailer for Nosferatu.
I'm loving what I'm seeing. I'm really, really digging it. I love the cinematography, the way that everything's framed. I think is really good. It feels like all of his movies. It feels like there's a lot of purpose to each shot. He knows how to frame an image really, really well. The color grading, I'm also a big fan of too. I really like how there's these very warm shots and very cold shots that it kind of is jumping back and forth between. It just, I mean, I'm a big fan of like really kind of old school gothic like vampire horror, and this just honestly feels like it's nailing like all the elements of that. And like you said, he hasn't missed yet, so I've got no reason to doubt any of what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, he's known for doing The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman. Probably his most successful movie is probably Northman, if I had to say. It's probably his most normie friendly movie out there. Yeah, I mean, this looks great. I'd like to say he hasn't missed yet. He's a wonderful director, one of the best directors of our time out there working. Um, yeah, I mean, stat cast as well, great actors that you had in this. Willem Dafoe is a staple of Robert Eggers movies now. He's staple now with there. Emma Corrin is also in this. Aaron Taylor Johnson, Nicholas Hoult, Lily Rose Depp, Bill Skarsgård, as I mentioned before. Ralph Ineson is going to be Galactus. It's going to be
Ooh, there you go.
yeah. Man, I cannot wait for this. This is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Yeah, I'm going to be right there watching this as soon as it comes out there.
That last shot of the curtain blowing and just the shadow coming in that's genius. That's such a genius shot.
Yeah. Have you seen the original Nosferatu?
I have. It's been a while, but I have.
Hi, what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, I can't say I've seen like a ton of silent films. I've watched a few for sure, but I mean, I really think that movie holds up to this day still. And I would say that I'm gonna go out on a limb and say a lot of silent films probably don't hold up as like the most engaging thing to sit and watch, probably for younger people as well, in today's day and age. But I think that the tone and the creep factor of the original Nosferatu actually really holds up here. It might be one of the few silent films that really does.
Yeah, the film came out in 1922. That movie came out, and you can watch it on Tubi. So
there you go.
Get a good old Tubi. Watch it for free, man. You got to struggle to find it, like Terminator 1984. Just go straight on Tubi, and it's also on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube as well.
Oh, there you
go. So yeah, the whole hour and 20 minutes right there on YouTube there. Yeah. All right. Also, so have you played the Yakuza series at all?
Not really. I played a bit of Judgment, which was like a spin-off of the franchise, but I didn't get like super far into it. So I can't. Yeah, I'm not like a big fan. It's despicable me.
I kind of see that. I kind of see
it. I could see it. I could definitely see it. But yeah, I'm not super familiar with the Yakuza franchise. I just know like a little surface level details of it.
So this is the Like a Dragon Yakuza official trailer here. So it's based off the video game here, done by Amazon Prime. Let's check it out.
俺は竜になりたかった。
お前は何も分かってない。極道のことも竜のことも。背中に背負った十字架から一生逃げられない。
1億どころか何億あんねん。
青梅の100億盗んだ奴らがうちにいんのか。
ビビってんなら一人で逃げな。
あんたが親殺しちゃう。お前一人時間が止まってんじゃないのか。カズマ。
はったりでもいいから戦争止めてこいや。
ちょっと顔貸してもらえますか。
Do you watch any Yakuza dramas there? Gangster Yakuza films? Shows?
I've definitely seen some. Nothing like super striking comes to mind. I've definitely watched some Japanese like gangster stuff, but I don't know if I've ever seen anything that's been like so masterpiece, like amazing, I guess.
景気よく暴れられるのは最初だけ。そのうち原爆ボンボンで1億総玉砕で。
お前知らねえんだよな。 新宿の悪魔のことは。その悪魔の目的は何だ？
神室町。
筋肉ちゃんやないかい。
カスマが全部悪いんじゃ。カスマがヤクザになんかならなかった。言ってみきゃ！10
年前、俺たち兄弟を裏切ったのはお前だろう。お前さんの竜も見せてくれ。
Would you do that? Would you get a dragon tattooed on your back?
I do have a dragon tattoo on my back.
Oh, you do have a dragon tattoo. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a huge dragon tattoo on my back.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you should be a part of the Yakuza then. Go, yeah, maybe you fit right in, man. Nice dragon tattoo on your back. It's coming October 24th this year, right here. And it is the year of the dragon.
Oh, is it?
It is the year of the dragon, yeah. So happy birthday to you, I guess. Get a dragon in the bag. Happy year of the dragon to you. What's your thinking? What's your thoughts?
I mean, it does. I don't know the games very well, so I can't make any sort of direct comparison as far as like how faithful it looks, except for I believe that they reused the same kind of town map for each game, and it's like a little different, I think, each time. So the Judgment spinoff I played still had the same kind of like map as the rest of the franchise. And there's a shot of them on like a bike going down the city street there, and it did look just like I remember, like walking in through the game, at least through that game. I remember it looking very close. So it seems like there is at least some accuracy there in terms of like set design and the lighting and kind of the way it looks and stuff in the presentation. It looks like it could be a cool gangster story. I guess I don't know exactly what like the character hook is with like the protagonist. I believe it's with the kind of red shirt and the white suit. It's Kiryu Kazama, I want to say is the character's name. I mean, I'd be open to checking it out. Without any experience with the games, or at least very little experience with the games, maybe I can go into it with kind of no expectations, sort of open mind, and I don't. It looks like it could go totally either way for me.
Yeah, it's a criminal underworld type show there, navigating that kind of a gangster type show that you have there. Looks like it could be maybe a fun watch there. Some of the action sequences. I know the Yakuza video game is known for some of its fighting style in the games. There, would you watch it? Would you watch the first episode?
Yeah, I'd check it out. Yeah, I'd check it out. It definitely doesn't look bad. I mean, production value looks pretty solid. The editing, at least the editing of the trailer, seems pretty good. I didn't notice anything that was really off-putting, any bad effects or like particularly bad acting or line reading or anything. So, yeah, it seems like it at least has the potential to be interesting. As far as how close it is as an adaptation to those characters or to the story, I don't know if it's adapting like the very first game or if it's pulling from one of the other ones. I mean, that franchise, I want to say that it's like they're on like 8 or something now. There's been a spinoff or 2 included in all of that. So it's a long running franchise. So I'd be curious to hear what like an actually big fan of the games has to say. I guess the one thing maybe I would point out, or just I guess I just noticed, the games are like, I mean, I guess they can be serious too, but like they go like hyper extreme on the anime kind of super silly, exaggerated element sometimes. At least the Judgment spinoff I played would just get like just a weird and absurd to a cartoonish degree that, at least based on the trailer, that looks like it's a little more serious or a little more grounded than some of what I saw in that game, which maybe is a good thing because some of the silliness is part of why I didn't stick with it and then end up finishing it. But I'm sure people that are big fans of the games also love that. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing as far as this adaptation goes.
Looking to see what people are saying here on Twitter, reaction on the trailer. Some people say pretty good. Looks like most people are pretty excited about it. Some people says it needs a little bit more humor there. Uh, so it seems like most people are pretty excited for it. Some people just say I want some cool action sequences. Some people say that here. So yeah, October
The
24th.
games you're practically doing like, energy blasts and like fires coming out of there. Like it's like super, super like almost Dragon Ball Z like with the fighting.
I think I
get that hard in there.
yeah. I've only ever seen clips on Twitter there, like stuff like that. People making memes out of it and everything. No, so you got that. So I'll bring up a trailer for Mortal Kombat Chaos Reign there. You can give us a review of that. Before we head out of here. All right. So, Sage, you played the new expansion here, Mortal Kombat Chaos Reign. Tell us all about it and what your thoughts on it.
All right, so yeah, this just came out on this last Tuesday actually, and this is a sequel to the Mortal Kombat one that came out in late September 2023. It is like a sequel story mode. We got teased with back at the end of the last one. Uh, Havoc, or they introduced this whole multiverse thing, so you've got versions of like every character that are like the creator of their own universe. So this is Havoc, who was at this point a old character for this franchise. He debuted back in I think 2006 in Mortal Kombat Deception. He's like this like zombie god of the Chaos realm. He's all about anarchy. He's like trying to almost doing like a Heath Ledger's Joker thing, where he's just like chaos, anarchy, random nonsense. I want nothing to make sense even. And he comes in and invades in the middle of all this stuff going on with Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and they've kind of reintroduced the Cyber Initiative for the robot characters you see there, Sector and Cyrax. But what did they do? They made them women this time. Did I ruin the game for you?
I was gonna.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say. I thought somebody pointed out somebody was mad that one of them was black, but then somebody pointed out that they were black before. In the game.
Yeah, Cyrax was always black.
Okay, yeah, that's what somebody was also mad about that. But okay.
Yeah, Cyrax and Sector appeared as robots. Like they just appeared as robots in Mortal Kombat 3 in the arcade days, and then Cyrax came back and was playable in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, which was on the PS2, GameCube, Xbox. And in that game, he had an alternate costume that showed, he's just like full on robot. He had an alternate costume that showed like his human skin and like face and stuff. And he was black in that game in like 2002 or 2003, whenever that came out. So that character has always been black. Like that's just always been the case. He's never been a woman before, but I mean, again, we're dealing with like in the Mortal Kombat 1 story mode, this is a new universe entirely that Liu Kang has created, right, to try and kind of change the course of history. Of course, villains come back, they find their ways. Time kind of course corrects itself, and these villains show up again and kind of manifest in different ways. So I think it's interesting to get like different versions of these characters. We're doing a full on multiverse thing, right? So why not do different stuff and kind of mess around with the status quo of what they are? I mean, the other thing about that is Mortal Kombat to me has always been stupid. But I mean that in like a good way. It's stupid in the way that's fun and self-aware, and I think it's endearing.
I mean, you got Ghostface, right? Like, what the hell is Ghostface?
Yeah. He's what I can't wait to see is what is Ghostface's animality gonna be, because it's another part of this expansion. This is part of just a free update, so you don't actually need to purchase the expansion to get the animalities. That's just added to the game for everybody. But that's been its first time in 23 years, I think, that animalities have been in a game. Last time was Mortal Kombat 3 in the arcades. And yeah, you get all these ridiculous, just extra set of fatalities basically for every character. A lot of those are super fun. I went through, did all of them just to see what they were. Very entertaining, I thought. But yeah, I mean, the story here is probably going to run you like 2.5 hours, I'd say. Like a solid movie length. I thought this was super fun. Oh, and then the other character is Noob Saibot. Also made his return here with this expansion. So you get three playable characters that are just available day one. Unlike the first year of DLC with this first season pass, you're not waiting like 3 months to get one of each of them. You're just dropping all three along with the story right away. And then Ghostface, Conan the Barbarian, and the T-1000. Those will be additional DLC characters. Those ones will be staggered release over some time. I've heard maybe Ghostface will come out on Halloween, and then we'll see the other two probably late in the year, maybe early next year. Um, but yeah, I mean, I had a ton of fun with this. It's funny. It's another one where I see people complaining about the story online a bit, and it's. I mean, hey, you enjoy things how you want to enjoy them, but I've come to realize that I think people take Mortal Kombat too seriously. I think people just are taking the story and the lore of this franchise just a little seriously for at least for what I've always viewed it as. I see this as you're dumping a box of toys on the ground. I got a ninja and an actor and a cyborg and a lizard man and a guide and a kung fu master, and they're all gonna fight each other. It's and then now a zombie god, and it's so silly and ridiculous, and it's always retconned things and messed around with its characters and redesigned them, and they haven't always had these consistent personalities in every release necessarily. I mean, especially in like the games pre-9, there was not that much coherent narrative in a lot of those earlier games to begin with. I mean, you get some stuff in like story mode, but I don't know. So I don't know. That's just me. I think if you're looking for something to like really blow you away with its writing and be super serious and tell this dramatic story that it has some emotional impact on you, I think you're just looking in the wrong place. I think you're looking at the wrong franchise. But if you are down for something that is dumb fun, like just the height of absurd, nonsensical action film, action horror. I mean, I think this expansion was awesome. I had a ton of fun with it. I'm still playing it. We're going to be streaming it on my channel tomorrow, Tuesday. What's the date today? So it'd be October 1st, 2:30 p.m.
Yep.
Central Standard Time. We'll be doing that tomorrow. I thought this was a bunch of fun. It is priced at $49.99. So if you bought DLC characters separately, that's like $8.99 a piece, and then a story mode, which for this kind of thing, I'd say is probably like the story mode by itself would be like $30. So plus like $8.99 per character, so you get 6 characters. So I don't know, it's a little pricey. I'm not gonna lie, it is. But if you're a big fan of the franchise, I feel like it's worth it. I feel like you're getting a lot for it. Um, Other big thing, and this is along with the animalities, this is another thing that is free update. So I guess it's technically part of the DLC expansion, but it's also something that just everybody gets. But they have brought back the Towers of Time from Mortal Kombat 11. That was one of the big complaints with Mortal Kombat 1 when it came out is, yeah, you've got the basic arcade ladders, you've got this invasions mode, which is kind of boring for most people, weren't super into that. You've got the story mode, which a lot of people I think liked, but as far as like single player content, it was maybe a little lacking in some of those optional towers and stuff. Well, they brought all that back, so you can go to the main menu now. You can go to the Towers of Time. It's just like it was in 11, where there's like all these towers, daily, hourly, weekly, monthly, different themed ones. If you don't buy the DLC, you can go in there and there's actually a special free tower for each of the DLC characters, so you can try them out before you buy them, see if you like them or not. I think this update's got a lot of it's addressing a lot of the criticisms people had of the game. in its first year, and some of the missing features that people were maybe a little upset about. So for me, I'd give this like a like a really strong tune in. I think it's got a lot here. Even the free stuff is really nice, really fun, really good updates to the game, fixes for some of those issues. And then I really enjoyed all the new characters. I put a good chunk of time into playing as all three of them. I thought the story was super entertaining. But again, I've always thought that the stories in Mortal Kombat were a little, you know, again, I'm just going to say stupid. Mortal Kombat is stupid. And I mean that in a good way. If it wasn't stupid, I wouldn't like it nearly as much as I do. But again, I think I think I really have realized for the first time just how seriously people treat the lore and the stories here. And so when they feel like a character loses a fight in the story mode, they get real upset about it. And I'm just over here like, I don't know. I thought it was fun when they punched each other. So
Okay. And Sector Cyrax, new Cybot. Those are the new characters out there right now. You can play with the expansion. And then also you get the
you can try them out
animalities.
for free.
Try them out for free there and see if you like them. No word yet on when Conan, Ghostface, T1000 are showing up, so no word quite.
Not yet. I've heard Ghostface Halloween Day drop thing though, or right around Halloween.
I'm sorry, you froze up. You froze up there. What'd you say?
I said I think Ghostface is rumored at least to be a Halloween drop.
Okay.
Right around Halloween. The other two, I don't think there's been anything yet though.
Okay, that makes sense. Ghostface Halloween. That makes sense to be a Halloween drop there. With that, so you gave it a tune in for Combat Chaos. Okay.
Solid tune in.
Solid tune in there.
Just wondering what animal is Ghostface going to turn into. That's is it penguin or is it an orca? Or...
All right, let's see if anybody with the speculation is online.
I'm just thinking of black and white animals.
Ghostface turning. What's been your favorite animal so far?
Favorite one? Johnny Cage is really good. It's like a bunch of like crew for like a movie come in, and like somebody does the clip and everything, and then he puts on like the prop of a shark head, and then it like wipes, and then he turns into a shark, and it's like the poster for Jaws is recreated. Yeah, that's a fun one. That's a really good one.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that one.
I love all the movie references with Johnny Cage, and they're always yeah. Oh, come on with the spider ladies.
Yeah,
I don't get enough of that on my own streams.
I really love the Peacemaker. Peacemaker one is really good. I like that one.
Oh yeah, that one's hilarious. That one's so funny.
Let me see. Let me type that one in. The Peacemaker animality. The Homelander one.
Peacemaker and Homelander ones are both great.
Let's see. Let me play this one.
That's awesome.
And then let me see the Homelander one, just so people can see that one.
Well, and you know too, I'll say at least for Ghostface, I have a couple of guesses. They're all just based on black and white animals, right? Because of his color scheme. Even more of a question mark is the T1000. Like, what would that? I don't even know. I have no idea.
So I'm going to the best place with all the right answers, Reddit here. So on r/Mortal Kombat, it says, what in the hell is going to be Ghostface animality? My only thought so far is a panther for the Woodsboro High School mascot.
Okay.
So that one might fit there. Somebody also was thinking of some other black and white animals. Some people put a raccoon with maybe a raccoon.
Get a skunk.
And then somebody would say, yeah, animalities have never had much reason to them. Scorpion turned into a freaking penguin and a reptile turned into a monkey, for God's sake, there.
That's true.
And then some people were saying that they were kind of mad that Who was it that turns into the Venus flytrap?
Oh, reptile. Because it's not an animal or whatever.
Yeah, they said it's not an animal; it's a plant, so that doesn't really count as
Right.
an animality. 'Cause it turns into a Venus
My only argument is, I guess it's like Audrey 2 and Little Shop of Horrors. It's like an alien monster thing, so maybe there's some crossover between plant and animal in, in that context. And the name of the animality is even, it's like feed me size off, so it's a direct reference to Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay, so maybe it gets away with that. Yeah. For the T1000, so somebody said a chameleon, but chameleons are pretty small. I mean, they're pretty.
Yeah, I don't know how they, I don't know how you have it kill someone, but
Uh, somebody said a zebra. Um,
oh, a zebra would be hilarious for Ghostface again, just because it's black and white. But
somebody says for the T1000 a jellyfish.
jellyfish.
Chimera, a metal chimera. So somebody. What about Conan? Do you think his is a lion? Probably will be a lion.
A lion or maybe like a manticore.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Liu Kang is a phoenix and Ashra turns into like a Pegasus unicorn. So mythological creatures are totally on the table here.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can see Conan turning into some manticore.
Yeah, that feels right. I think that feels right.
That's a scary looking one right there. Yeah. Scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could do that one. I'm in firmly in the no plants in animality camp there. So yeah.
I like that one. Okay, but I understand.
Let me see. The Venus. It looks cool. Let me see. I think let's play that one here. Yeah, reptile.
Animality.
If it was just a Venus flytrap, I would maybe be on the other side. But as a reference to Little Shop of Horrors, I think that's just me personally, though.
And let's see. I didn't get to see the Homelander one. Play that for the people that we mentioned.
It's also really funny. Like a griffin.
That was pretty cool too. I like that. Oh.
That one's awesome.
Yeah. Who has the lamest one? You think?
You know, I don't know if any of them stuck out as like particularly lame because even when they're like silly, they still make me laugh, I guess. But Katana turns into a hummingbird.
Let me see that hummingbird. Let me see.
It's still, but it still made me laugh. So like, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to like. There isn't one I didn't like, I guess. But if there's one that's like, oh, that's a little animal that you wouldn't expect much from. Oh.
Yeah, the Lei Mei one, the panda one is a little.
Panda.
Yeah, that's a little kind of lame. Yeah, like just kind of just takes.
They're not eating people. Or pandas are. They're like. Are they herbivores? Or do pandas eat any meat?
No, I think they just eat bamboo, right? They just eat.
Yeah, they're purely plant based. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a little a little kind of lame. Oh yeah, it says yes, giant pandas eat meat occasionally.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, that's it. It says bamboo contains very little nutritional value.
That's why they keep dying.
So pandas must eat 12 to 38 kilograms every day to meet their energy needs, but they do branch out with about 1% of their diet comprising other plants and even meat. So they do. Okay. Okay. There you go. More you know, Panda Facts there. There you go. That afternoon. So a tune in from Sage for Metal Gear. I was gonna say Metal Gear. Sorry, I meant Mortal Kombat 1 Chaos Reigns.
I'll be there for that crossover though.
Yeah. Like you said, they don't really have video game characters being brought in. They had Kratos, but maybe it's time to
It's
bring
the
in
only
some.
time. Yeah, that was Mortal Kombat 9 back in 2011, and he was exclusive to the PlayStation 3 version of the game. And yeah, that was the first time they did guest characters at all. Um, and yeah, they've never done another video game ever since. I feel like there's a lot of material for it, but
Oh, all right, we'll be heading out of here. Sage, one more time, let people know they can find out what you got going on, man.
yeah. Find me over at Rated M for Immaturity on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, all under that exact same name. We stream every Tuesday about 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are going to be doing that tomorrow. We'll be playing the new Mortal Kombat expansion we just talked about. Should be doing the whole thing in one stream, beginning to end. So if you want to check it out, maybe you're not sure about buying it, come run through the story with us. Otherwise, we also do a stream every Saturday night around 10:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to be starting a new game this next Saturday, Blasphemous, kind of a 2D Souls-inspired kind of dark fantasy thing. And then we tend to have a stream like every other Friday with Tim, who is with us tonight, and another one of our co-hosts, No Name. And they are slowly working their way through Baldur's Gate 3, getting to that every other week or so. Yeah, we do a bunch of different games, try and switch up the variety all the time, play different stuff, different genres. There's about 11 of us as co-hosts rotating around on the channel. And then, yeah, you go over to YouTube, you can see the backlog of just like every stream we've ever done, basically. And then on Twitter, if you follow us there, you get notifications on when we're going live.
Very nice. Yeah, I'll make sure to be there on your next stream tomorrow. Next upcoming streams, I'm going to be here with Chris from the Blackstone Podcast. We're going to be doing a review for Megalopolis. We're going to be doing a review for The Wild Robot and Joker 2. Doing a review for that. Maybe Saturday I'll do a stream. Maybe Saturday or Sunday I'll try to review Batman Mask of the Phantasm and try to review the movie that's going to win the upcoming poll on Twitter there, twitter.com, type in Afternoon 2, and you're able to find us there. Right now, we got Shaun Dead, Van Helsing, Saw 1, and Dawn of the Dead up there for people to vote on there. Yeah, and you can follow us on all the social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, all day afternoon. Just type it in, you'll be able to find us. If you want to send us an email, you can do so at theafternoon@gmail.com with your questions, comments, concerns, wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, see on those platforms. Make sure you leave a 5-star review. They have a the podcast does a lot for us. It is September there. Make sure to leave there if you can on the last day of September. Twitch.tv/Afternoon Tune. Usually streaming every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, sometimes Wednesday there. Try to get to 600 followers there by the end of October. That'd be awesome if we could do that. YouTube.com, the Afternoon Tune, posting up reviews, discussions, all that good stuff, news announcements, trailer breakdowns, all on YouTube. YouTube.com, the Afternoon Tune. I see Cal's on right now. Cal is playing that Minecraft still grinding it out on that Minecraft there. So I'm gonna go ahead and raid him there. Good guy.
Cool.
Very, very good guy there.
Made all the emotes on my channel as well.
Yeah, so awesome guy. Thank you, Ulysses. Thank you, Echo there. Very much stopping by. Very much appreciate that. Thank you to Sage. Thank you to Tim. All right, people, stay tuned.